Got a feeling I deserve it. Now I'm only moving with a purpose. The people showing love, but I ain't broken through the surface. Never had a chance, wasn't no name. All season started working on my post game. Now I seen the readers at the phone when they alone. I break them off and send them home. Got a game with no shame. Saying I'm a flop, that's an insult. Chill. Rolling up a J in a raw pace still. Send a shot, y'all ain't never got a kill. Kick rock, city full of cops.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is We're All In Podcast. We're here tonight after some difficulty again. We're going to bring you some topics tonight. Try to make this a better show than what we were. Hopefully Facebook doesn't kick us off. Just to let you guys know, Thursday, we will be going on YouTube. We did not want to do it tonight because we're not feeling that we're reaching out to all of you guys to know. We ran some trials on YouTube. It doesn't send a subscription or that we're going live. It doesn't send any alerts whatsoever.
What's going on, Drew?
We need to see when we post on our group page on Facebook that we're going YouTube. If we can try to get some feedback, okays, like something to let us know that we are reaching out to you guys. We really want to try YouTube. We think it could possibly push us a little farther. So Thursday we will be on YouTube. And we'll sort of want to do one day a week between the two. One day is going to be Facebook. The other day will be YouTube. We don't want to leave Facebook because we feel like we're getting lots of good views from Facebook also. But I am Mike Ash.
Big Country.
John.
And we're here today to bring you guys some of these hot topics that are going on around the world of the sports. So we do want to start out here. We are going to start out. We are going to start off with there is some drama building in the Brooklyn Nets organization with rumors of James Harden, with Kyrie Irving playing half games. They're on a miserable 8-game losing streak because Kevin Durant is hurt. Trade speculations everywhere in Brooklyn, but we have Brooklyn brass saying that, from the head coach to Sean Marks saying that James Harden isn't going nowhere. And for you guys that don't, Sean Marks is the owner / GM. So
Tim said, "What's up, my three ugly bros?"
What do you guys with this drama building? What should Brooklyn do? Should they trade? What fixes their issues?
I feel like if I'm the Pacers, I'm gonna trade for them. They're doing all this trade going on with Indiana. They might as well go get James Harden because they've done a lot this last week. I don't know. I think James don't want to be there. Ben doesn't want to be with Philadelphia. Just trade him. What are we doing? What is the wait? Why hasn't this been done already? I don't understand. If it's not Ben Simmons, anybody in the NBA, why haven't you pulled the trigger? Just make it happen. Because what's all this drama? What's all this buildup? Just do it and get it over with.
Brooklyn would have to admit. Well, Brooklyn would have to admit they failed. That it didn't work. Is their ego? Will their ego not allow them to say, "We're not giving up on this until one of the three leaving free agency"? Because it's been miserable since this has come together.
Well, that's also, I don't think it's miserable off of James Harden's part as much as it is Kyrie's part. The shit that he's pulled.
Well, that and James was hurt.
Injury as well.
James was hurt in the playoffs last year. Durant carried that them by himself. Now Durant's hurt this year. Harden's not playing tonight.
And Durant was having a stellar season before he went down.
He has a bad hamstring.
Yeah. So Kyrie only playing away games.
I feel bad for Durant.
How long? That's
Kevin
my question.
Durant, man.
That's my question on that. How long is that going to last?
What
with Kyrie playing, only
I think
away games.
He missed the first half of the season because he didn't want to play it.
Right.
Well, the Nets didn't want him to be a part-time. He's always said he'd be a part-time player. The Nets were like, no, it's not happening. That. Well, then they started to struggle, and the Nets are like, yes.
Okay, yes. We'll do what you want.
You know what I mean? So I don't.
And I feel bad for Durant. This dude's quiet. He never makes any noise. He just goes out there and plays his game. He just wants guys to come in and compete with him. He just wants he wants a title with him. And he unfortunately got.
He's all in.
Unhealthy now.
He's all in. That's what it is.
He is.
Durant is all in.
And
You are
Kyrie's
not questioning Durant's all in. I'm into this.
Kyrie's like, I'm all in when I play.
Yeah. But no. I feel as much as I don't want them to trade Ben Simmons there because of the fact that they're an in-division rival. They're in conference rival. They're right now, when healthy, they're better than you with them three. And I don't think you get any worse if you send Ben Simmons there. So would Ben Simmons fix the losing streak in the Nets? I think so, because he's going to play every single day. You're going to get the best of him. James Harden is that he doesn't want to be there. It sucks to say, but he's a thorn in your side because you're in your brain thinking he's a free agent after this year anyways. So do we get something for him now, or does he just walk on us in free agency? And Daryl Morey's pretty much saying he
Isaac said Durant comes to Cleveland with all the young dudes willing to win.
Yeah, not a chance. Not a chance.
You put Durant over there. I mean, they'd have to give up everybody. But
they would. They wouldn't have a team left to get Durant.
Then Drew said Kevin has said in the past he wants to win on his own and doesn't want to be on these super teams.
But he joined the super team.
Who said that?
I guess Kevin did.
Kevin Durant. He joined the Warriors. That was a super team.
But no, he is saying that afterwards. He did say that.
Oh, now I did it, so now I don't want to do it again.
No, yeah, because they're saying that he feels like he didn't get that monkey off his back. That they're saying you only won because you had Curry.
Okay, but he went out. But Kyrie Irving came and James Harden came. That's a super team.
Well, he technically
he still did it.
They traded for that's out of
right.
Once again, that's out of Durant's hands.
But they still did it though. You're still on a super team.
Brent said not trading in own division either.
I wouldn't, but
yeah.
If you're the Nets, you take it because you're getting.
If you're the Sixers, you take it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They both need to take it. I understand the interdivision thing, and it is going to suck because you have to play each other. I get that, but
I'll tell you this
it is what it is.
I'll tell you this much: if they make that trade, the Nets win that hands down. It's not even remotely close.
I have a question.
I don't know about that.
I have a question with the Kyrie situation. Only be able to play away games. Why not trade him away? Get a player that's going to play every game.
Loves him. Durant loves him.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure didn't Kyrie say? Together. Didn't he say if I'm not here, I'm not going to play anyway?
What do they do in the playoffs? What do they do in the playoffs? You have home games in the playoffs.
Right.
Kyrie can't play in the playoffs.
I know.
I agree with you. I've always said Kyrie should be the guy. I would want Kyrie in Philly over James Harden. But for the fact of you could ship, I've said it a million times, you could ship Ben elsewhere. Daryl Morey could take less. He could still get a group of really good young players and some draft picks and help the Sixers. Bring Kyrie in with Joel Embiid. And he wouldn't have to worry about, I can only play home games.
I just said, though, didn't Kyrie say, if I'm not playing with Brooklyn, I don't want to play at all?
Kyrie said that with Boston, too.
I just feel like as an owner, if this guy's not, he's not contributing to my team at all times, giving me his best every time, I'm going to ship him out. I'm going to get someone that's going to help me win some games.
Because they only have Kevin Durant because of Kyrie. Kyrie was already in Brooklyn, and he was already committed to Brooklyn, and that's the reason Kevin Durant came, because Kevin wanted to play with Kyrie. James Harden has become frustrated just with everything in the building. I think he just doesn't want to admit he's fucking pissed off at Kyrie because Kyrie's being selfish. I understand his vaccination stance, but at some point you have to be a team player, dude. You guys signed up for this for one reason and one reason only, and that is to chase rings. Every other player's got it. And like Kevin Durant said, he's not for the vaccine, but he's for the team. And if that means getting a poke in your arm, you just got to do it. If you don't want to do it, get out. But Kevin Durant won't say that to him. Why? I don't know.
Maybe he has said that to him, and Kyrie just doesn't care.
Wouldn't you think that would become news? Kyrie can't shut the fuck up. He thinks the world's flat. It could be flat. We don't know if it's flat or not flat. I've never been to space.
Oh, my God.
I've never been there. They said we walked on the moon. I'm still questioning that to this day.
He's so dumbfounded, he just got to stay down.
I've never been there, man. They say ghosts are real. I've never seen one, so I always say I don't know if they are or aren't.
On a side note, what'd y'all think of the new cars in NASCAR, the race? What'd y'all think?
Let's clear this up and we'll go to that because that's something we should talk about. So do we not fix that? Does James Harden leave and fix the problem in Brooklyn?
He doesn't think we walked on the moon.
I don't know what else to tell you. Were you there?
I couldn't get past that point.
I wasn't there. I'm not saying we didn't or we did. I just didn't see it.
So you've never seen $1 million, so does it exist?
Yeah, we have seen $1 million.
You've never seen $1 million.
I think
But I've
personally,
seen,
right
I've
here
seen
in front of
other
you.
people carrying it, and people
You've
that are
seen
millionaires.
it in real life,
That is the
in front
dumbest-
of you.
That is
No.
the dumbest
No, it's
thing
not
you
dumb
could
at all.
possibly
No,
say.
have you seen it with your own eyes?
Can I go get $1 million if I had good enough credit? Yes.
Can you? No, you can't.
I can
No.
get $1 million. John, can you get
Is
$1
it
million
real?
loan?
Is it real?
Exactly.
Is it real?
If my credit was good enough, I could get $1 million.
Is
If
it
my
real?
credit's
Have
good
you
enough, I
ever
can't go
seen
to
it
the moon.
really in life? Have you seen $1 million in front of you before? Have you?
No, but that doesn't mean
How do you
it's
know it
not
exists?
real.
How do you know?
Drew, I did too.
What?
He said he loved the new cars in the race.
Oh, I absolutely love them. I love the look of them. I like the feel of them. They can't be real. I've never seen them in person.
So James Harden's not being traded to the 76ers.
I don't know.
No, I'm saying I don't think he will. I don't think they're pulling the
okay.
trigger before Thursday. I don't think it's happening. I think it should, but it's not.
I think
And I don't know why.
I think if it doesn't, my theory.
Morey should be fired?
No.
Oh.
If it doesn't, then Morey as the GM, who cares what they want in the offseason? If Durant, because we see it a lot in the NBA, signing trades. We see a free agent coming. They did it with Durant. That's what ultimately shipped Wiggins to
Bobby, you're right. Simmons has
over
a
to the
defensive
Warriors.
yeah, to the Warriors because it was a sign and trade
Right.
thing.
Watch him do this so much.
Because I do it on my own. I pull it down and up
one
like
of the
crazy.
types.
Sometimes I don't like it there, so I keep that loose
Can't
to
keep
pull
it
back
Now
Yeah.
you
up.
can't move it.
So
What should happen if he doesn't make the trade?
they don't give him nobody if he decides to sign in free agency next year. The Sixers should at that point say, "Fuck off."
Bobby said Mayweather carries around $1 million.
I said that earlier, but Mooney says it's still not real.
I didn't see it in real life.
We
It
didn't
could,
see
it
no
could be
goddamn
fake
car.
money.
We didn't see no freaking NASCAR in real life.
Fake.
Is it real, or was them just cars
I've
going
been
around?
to NASCAR. It's real. They're
didn't
real.
see the new gen?
They're real.
You didn't? Did you see the new gen?
Yeah, but they're real.
Oh, all right. That's just because Mooney
They're
said
real.
so.
Because I said so.
But yes, I don't think trading James Harden fixes anything because Kyrie's situation, Durant's hurt. I think they're going to implode.
But do you think that something should happen to Morey if he doesn't move on from this Ben Simmons thing?
If he doesn't trade Ben Simmons come Thursday, I think next year he has to be on the hot seat because you were throwing away a season. Sixers at full health can't beat the Bucks at full health, can't beat the Nets at full health, and they sure in the hell can't beat the Bulls at full health
Let me ask you a
in
question.
a 7-game series.
Outside of that, staying in the Sixers realm, outside of that, is Doc a good coach?
I mean, he's shown that he is. I mean, he's done a lot this year. We've had lots of COVID issues, and we're still above 500. So I think Doc's a good coach. Is he a great coach? That's skeptical, but he's a good coach.
All right.
And he's handled a lot with this Ben Simmons thing, too. A lot. That's a lot on your
Seems
plate.
to be the Marty Schottenheimer of the NBA. It's
Well,
like regular season just kills it, and then playoffs you can't win.
he has a championship.
He has, okay. He has one. He has one.
Hey, Marty don't have any.
Marty doesn't have any.
Okay.
Like the Tony Dungy of the
It's not a bad thing.
because Tony has one.
All right, yeah, anyway, so we're going to say, or are we going to agree that the Nets are just going to implode?
I'd say.
I don't know if implode. I don't know. I mean, James is still playing at a high level.
He's hurt.
When,
He's
when
out.
Kevin's, when he's not hurt, he's playing at a high level. And then you got Kyrie there's part-time, but even part-time, they're still winning, even when he's not there.
They're on
Because of those other two. And I understand they're hurt right now, but
Well,
they
they're
get
on a-
healthy.
Well, they're on an 8-game losing streak with Kyrie playing.
Right.
Not home games,
Not home games. And like I said, Harden's hurt. Kevin's hurt. Get them healthy again. I think they're okay. And I think you get to the playoffs, I have a feeling Kyrie goes full time.
He can't. He'd have to get the vaccine to play
he does,
in Brooklyn.
right. He can't go to Canada either and play.
Right.
So if they have to play Toronto, he's screwed there. He can't even play away games.
Unless he gets the vaccine. Unless he breaks down and finally gets it.
God. Then you have to wait 6 weeks because he has to have the second one and he has to have the booster. So he could miss the whole entire playoffs because he still wouldn't be able to play.
He had to get it before the playoffs start.
Yeah, he would have to almost get it now. Because in May, June is the finals. June's the finals. Playoffs are coming in within 6 weeks. I don't know what he's going to do, dude. He's a non-factor. So, unless you get James and Durant fully healthy, I think them two are capable of winning home games without Kyrie. And then you would get Kyrie on away games, so it would give you that other dimension on away games, but they would have to take care of business all the time.
Which they have.
Well, I'm saying when they go up against people like the Bulls or the Sixers or the Bucks,
so
away
the
or
next
home,
year, do the Nets need to just get rid of Kyrie? Move on from that. You can't make it far with a part-time player, and if he's not going to get the vaccine, then like you just said, if they play a team like Toronto, you can't play in that series at all because of home games and away games. Because you can't play in Canada.
He can't play in California either.
No.
So he wouldn't be able to, if you make the finals with the Warriors.
Right, you got to go over there. You lose for the finals? Fuck that.
He wouldn't be able to play at all.
Nah. You're right. You can't play at home and you can't play the finals. Nah, it ain't worth it to me. You got to go.
I think John's right on that. You should trade him now, but they're not going to.
Because really,
tell
me what team wants to take on that role as well.
You would take it because the NBA is not mandating it. The only reason he can't do it is because of.
I know, but there's still, in whatever team he goes to, there's still going to be games he can't play.
But not nearly as bad as what he's missing right now.
Yeah, he would just miss. Yeah, he would just miss Warriors games, or he would miss Brooklyn games.
Yeah, miss a few games here or there. Right now, he's missing half the season.
Half the season, pretty much.
But
yeah,
like you said, let's say he got traded to Cleveland, go back to Cleveland. Say he went back to Cleveland, and then they go to the finals, and then they go against the Warriors.
He would only miss away games, though.
Right? He wouldn't be half the fucking finals. He can't be there for. Do you really want to put your franchise on the line like that?
They have to at this point if they don't trade him,
or just nobody have him.
I would take him in Philly. No, because I don't want to blackball him because of his stance. You can't kick him out the league. No,
it's not that. I'm not kicking you out of the league because of your stance. As much as I need you to be available, and you're not available for me enough to have you on my roster.
But that's because of his stance.
But that's still it's availability. Availability.
He's not getting game checks for the games he's missing, correct?
Yeah, he's not getting paid.
No, he don't get paid for the ones he don't play.
I didn't think so.
But he doesn't care about money. He has said that a million.
And I'm not even talking about money. If I want to win it, if I'm an owner, I want a championship.
Yeah,
I need you to be there.
Well, he said I'll sell him my Vax card.
I asked
how'd that work out for Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, yeah, he got in trouble. No, he didn't.
He said he had it.
He didn't have a fake one.
He said he had it, but he had the
He said he lied. He said he had it.
Antonio
Brown got a card. He got a card. Him and who was it? Him and Kanye West and who was the other one?
On the
what's the group he runs with that you put him in? Kanye West and Kyrie.
They need to be in that delusional.
They're in that delusional group still.
That world is flat type thing. I swear. Anyways, Kanye went nuts after getting with a Kardashian. I think they put voodoo shit on you over there, bro. The only one that didn't, think about it. The only one that hasn't went nuts. Lamar Odom went from a basketball player, a good six man, to the dude was addicted to crack. He was overdosing in strip clubs.
Which one of them was with the?
Remember Chris Humphries, the basketball player for the Nets? He got the fuck out, bro.
Well, which one was with the? Was it a tight end for Indianapolis? One of them dated a football player too.
I don't know. Ben Simmons was with the Jenner, and he was smart enough to get out of there. She's a Kardashian. So, and he's mental.
I agree, Brent. I think they will too.
What?
New York will change their vaccine mandate sooner than later.
What, 2 years from now when Biden's not in?
That's 3 years, but
you know what I mean? That's about the only.
Or it is 2. It is 22,
2 years.
24, yeah.
Unless they change the unless the house gets changed in November of this year or whatever
that will
it
be
is.
changed. We're not talking about politics. Don't get me started.
Anyways, yes. So whether or not we just don't believe that unless the Nets get healthy, they're not going to make a run. Correct? Is that what we're saying?
Correct.
Okay. So we do want to go on. Let's talk a little bit about these new cars in NASCAR. What do you guys think? Did you like them?
I liked them. I thought they were pretty nice.
Now, this is my question.
Oh, God.
I want to. It's legitimate. Does this with this one lug nut? Okay, because it does only have one lug nut. Does it?
Get away from your pit crew, God.
No. Is it going to take? We see good pit stops anywhere from 11 to 13 seconds. Are we going to see pit stops this year? Because we haven't got to see it yet. In the 7-8 second realm. Ying, ying.
I think they're still going to be fueling the car when they're done with the tires.
Think about it, because they're just and are they? You know how we do know they replace the lug nuts every single time. Mm-hmm. Are they replacing just this one lug nut, or does it get reused?
I would say I don't know.
Are they just in the big ass lug nut's going to go rolling away?
We're going to find out hopefully 1st of June.
Well, yeah, but we should find out, and not this Sunday, the following Sunday at Daytona when they actually start pitting. Does these cars allow them to get more fuel mileage?
Well, and also, I wonder if I wonder if they can drop some of their pit crew down.
That's what I mean. Did they have to do that? Who's the pit god? There's got to be a goat out
here
there.
we go.
There's got to be a goat.
Here we go.
Had this conversation all day long with Dennis and Isaac. They're curious too. They want to know if there's a pit goat.
Isaac was on here. I don't know if he still is. We'll see if he comments.
Yeah, there has to be a pit goat out there somewhere. Anyways, so what do you feel? Do you feel that this is great for NASCAR?
Bobby said you can see them at the Great Ford Auto Expo show.
Yeah, but we can't see them changing tires. That's what we want to see. Oh boy. I mean, could you see a 7-second pit stop on fourth? If you get in the 11s, people are like, dude, that's fast. That's 8 lug nuts and 4 tires on each. Now we only got 4 lug nuts and 4 tires. Could you see a 7 or an 8 second stop on 4 tires and fuel?
I imagine you probably could. I mean, if you're just going in and change tires, they always add fuel, don't they?
Yeah,
just
for the most part, yeah.
Top it off.
So you're just adding fuel while you're doing the tires. And I imagine if it's that much faster to do the tires, you probably you might see 7-6 second pit stops.
Isaac brought up a good point. He said, I couldn't give an honest answer on my opinion on how good the car actually is until we see the legit short track, 1.5 mile to super speed. He's exactly right.
Yeah, he said that to me earlier today, which I agree with. But from what we got to see, I do like that they went to carbon fiber bodies, because these things were taking lots of hits on Sunday and they weren't breaking like they would beforehand. I mean, these guys were hitting these corners and they were drilling each other. And we all know carbon fiber is a whole lot stronger than anything else they were putting on there. I know they got polyurethane bumpers that have a lot of give also, but this carbon fiber was impressive. It was impressive to see these dudes just drilling each other, and there was legitimately just paint scratches.
That's why I got kicked out of the UFC, because I have a carbon fiber jaw.
He got kicked out of the UFC because he was too damn slow.
Mentally or just physically slow?
Both.
It was a little both. It was a little both.
So, what did we lose? So what do you guys think? Do we think we have a really successful NASCAR season? Are you guys excited? I'm excited to watch this season. It's the most excited. I told Isaac today, it's the most excited I've been in a couple of years.
He said, Isaac just said, wasn't last year around 13 seconds. He thinks it'll be around 10 seconds now.
So he's
probably pretty close. I think it will shave some time off because you're not taking off so many lug nuts, but I don't think we'll see the 7-second.
I'm talking about the more they get used to it.
Even then,
going to get faster.
I mean, 7 seconds. That's fast.
They were getting 11 seconds from some of the better pit stop.
The goats.
The pit stop goats. Okay. So that's what we call them now. They're going to be goats. They're just the goats, all of them. So
yeah, the average pit stop time is 12 to 16 seconds. The average pit stop. I would imagine that's probably going to move
9-10
from
seconds.
9 to 12 now. It'll move 9 to 12 or maybe 8 to 11. Just because, I mean, it's got to be that much faster. It's got to be. So average will probably be around 9.
9. But could we see?
But could you see a 7? What
would a 2 tire? What would just a 2 tire stop be?
Huh?
Yeah, because sometimes they do just two tires. So is that going to be like 4 seconds? Because we already know fuel, and when you just fuel, that's fast already. But when they do a 2-tire stop now, it's normally 7-8 seconds. So is it going to be 5 seconds?
For a stop for 2 tires and fuel may take 5 to 7 seconds. That's regularly before. So you imagine if you only lose movement one lug nut, it's got to be down 3 to 5 seconds.
What'd you just say?
It's 5 to 7 on a 2-tire change in fuel.
Oh, see, Isaac just said 12.1.
Yeah, no, it says right here,
That's
5 to 7.
Yeah, that would be your average fast stop.
And a stop for 2 tires and fuel may take 5 to 7 seconds. So I would imagine if you're doing, it's got to be 3 to 5 if you're doing a 1 lug nut on each one. It's got to be 5 fast.
So we're gonna see a lot. That's why I'm so excited, man. We're gonna see
Drew just said probably going to see a lot more different winners and better races.
I think so.
I
think what they just did made the playing field even for everybody. I really do.
But you are.
I really
still think
so.
me and Isaac talked about this today. I still think you're going to see people like Kyle Larson dominate, because I think he's just that much of a better driver than a lot of these other guys. And then his in-race adjustments to his cars. I think his crew chief trusts what he says.
As of right now, the playing field's even, because everybody's getting acclimated with these cars. So everybody's got a chance, just like they do. It depends on who's the smartest guy in the room.
Reddick on Sunday showed he might be a step above everybody.
He got lucky.
Well, he ain't going to make that. Man was dominating until he broke his own car trying to launch it. He learned he can't do that. But like they said, like Isaac did say, though, on that short track, them transaxles were getting hot because they added extra cooling to it. So when you're not getting as much air. So obviously, I don't think that really plays a factor on like your mile and a half or your miles.
So let's find out when they get to Bristol what they're going to do.
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious to see on the durability of the cars on them longer tracks.
Like Daytona?
Yeah, things like how they're going to stand up on that the longevity of it. If we're going to have more breakdowns, we're going to have to go to the pit stop more often, that kind of thing. I'm just kind of curious to see how that all plays out.
Michigan will be an interesting one to watch.
I did like when we got to look at what happens when they have a rack and pinion in these cars now. When I think it was I forget who hit the wall and it ripped the whole one side of it, and they showed the end cam wreck. And everybody knows when you wreck, that rack and pinion wants to rip you back and forth. And he threw his hands, and you watched that wheel go nuts. And you didn't have that. I mean, you had a little bit of that with the gearbox, but not like you're going to have here when you got it cranked here, and then you smack something, and it sends that axle and that tire that way. So it wants to rip that rack and pinion clear back over here. So you're like...
Yeah, he put his hands up like this.
Yeah, will we get people who forget to do that and have hand and wrist injuries from when they hit a wall and they're like... Because your natural instinct is when you're going to hit a wall, you want to grab on for dear life.
Yeah, you brace.
So will they be? We're not. I've never hit a wall at 160 mile an hour, but will they go?
I don't want to either.
Oh shit! You know what I mean? And just throw their hands up because that rack and pinion is going to play a factor.
Whole different thing.
Drew said, just look at the teams and the owners joining NASCAR. NASCAR's getting hot now.
Oh yeah, I mean Emmett Smith is joining in now. He's buying a car. Floyd Mayweather bought into NASCAR. You already seen Michael Jordan do it.
It all depends on who they put in place to run it. Crew chiefs, pit people.
Emmett Smith contacted me and asked me to run the car.
So they're fucked.
I'm like, yeah, man, that'd be awesome.
It's not trucks, John.
Oh, damn. All right.
They're fucked.
Yeah.
I told him to put some monster tires on there, and I'll just run them over as we go by.
Oh, if that works. So yeah, are you guys super excited for this season?
I am.
Is that?
It's gonna be a good season.
I'm super excited.
You are not excited. at
No,
all.
I am. I am to see because I actually want to see. Are they gonna not this year, obviously, but coming up? Are they gonna implement that track into the schedule?
Nope. It's once at one time.
Why?
They had to pay $1 million to do that once.
Oh well, then it's not gonna get put in there.
And shout out to NASCAR with the diversity thing. Ice Cube, aka Dr. Dre. Because I said that in the group chat. It's a joke. Ice Cube playing, Pitbull playing before, Ice Cube playing at halftime at the break. That's a big step for NASCAR. And we all know NASCAR is predominantly white. And there is no arguing that. Bubba Wallace coming in was a big deal. Shout out to him, dude. I like it. I like that they're not afraid to
be diversified.
To just reach out, yes. To be they don't care. They welcome everybody. I really like that, man. And that's a shout out to NASCAR for being.
Ice Cube's an avid NASCAR watcher, or he just performed.
He was in LA and he played. I don't think he might. I shouldn't say that. I won't say no because I don't know. Because Michael Jordan, I never knew Michael Jordan was an absolute NASCAR fanatic.
I think he's got his hands on anything that's going to make money.
Well,
I don't know if he's actually a fanatic.
He come out and said that they did that all the time as a kid. His dad was big into NASCAR, loved it. So they were going to lots of NASCAR races. And it was always a dream of his to be a NASCAR owner.
Isaac
It's the first I ever heard of that.
No, they said it last year when they were talking about his car coming in.
I've seen a lot of documentaries on him and never heard of him.
It's not a documentary. He said that.
No, I said I've seen a lot of documentaries on him, and he's never brought up in any documentary about, because he's talked about other sports like his love for baseball and that and golf. He never mentioned NASCAR.
Yeah, well, I don't think he ever wanted to be a driver.
No, just to be an owner. Just to have a fan of the sport.
Yeah, I mean,
Isaac said the average speed at LA was 84, he believes, and then Bristol should be a decent amount of speed, like 120 or so. The same thing you said, airflow, keeping things cooler, won't get us hot.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see what we've seen with Tyler Reddick breaking on that launch. I just think he got it too hot, and he effed up. And he made a big mistake when I don't care. I might be a little biased on that opinion, but in his Heat 2, he led all 25 laps, and then to start the race, he led the first 55. So he was almost unbeatable, and he was taking these things, and he had a 4-second lead before he broke his own vehicle.
Drew said Pitbull's a car owner, too. He owns his own motorcycle racing team.
Huh. See, I would have never known this. I like this. I like that these guys are – man, once again, shout out to NASCAR, dude. I love that. I really like it. I think I like the change. I like that they're not afraid to change. So, and they need it. They need it because I think NASCAR was sort of struggling. I still believe that's part of their implement of the new car is to try to, like you said, even the playing field. Hendrick was dominating. I told Isaac
that's why they did a lot of what they did.
Yeah.
To even level the playing field.
Hendrick owned the best racers. They dominated all the races.
Even their worst drivers, even their worst drivers, and Bowman and William Byron, which ain't saying they suck, but if Larson and Elliott wasn't there or their cars broke, which very rarely happened, William Byron was normally in the front, or Alex Bowman was doing what he did. Their cars were just that much better than you, and it was
Jordan owns a motorcycle team too.
No, I didn't know that. See, there's a lot of stuff.
Jordan's the second best player in the history of the game, next to LeBron James.
Oh God, let's not get that started.
I know, Brent. If Brent is here, you have to say. If you have to say, Brent, if LeBron leads the league in scoring this year. In year 19, can you please tell me you respect this man? You don't have to say he's the greatest of all time, but can you finally give that man his respect if he leads the league in scoring in year 19?
All I'm going to say about this subject
LeBron. Take a bow.
Is let it go.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Let it go.
I'm going to let go.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm just saying. Can Brent do that for me?
I got something. I'm going to stick out there. I think Jordan needed Pippen more than Pippen needed Jordan. That's all I'm going to say.
Anyways,
we love how you look around after you say that.
I believe it. He knows I believe it.
Yeah, he does believe it.
Full-heartedly
Drew believes Scottie Pippen's the greatest player of all time.
Oh, I know. I know that.
But we do want to talk on also what. So we agree we're all excited for NASCAR. God, I can't wait for 2 more weeks.
Yeah, Daytona's going to be fun.
I can't wait.
It's going to be fun.
So after hearing over the weekend, the Pro Bowl happened, and we all know, wow, get rid of it.
Listen, hold on.
Get rid of it.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't know we were going here yet. And I got something I want to say about this Pro Bowl. I know what you're going to, but let me speak on the Pro Bowl for a second. The Pro Bowl is trash. It's garbage.
It's horrible.
You guys can literally stop playing the game now because nobody fucking cares. There was no tackling. You guys run up. It's touch football.
At least make it flag football.
Seriously, that would make it more entertaining. You guys, what are you wearing the fucking pads for at this point? Now, I watched Myles Garrett, one of my favorite players, not just because he's Browns. Dude's a badass defensive end. I watched him come up off the line. He literally put his hand on the lineman. The lineman put his hand on him, and they just walked to the quarterback.
Yeah, they did. I do.
And everybody on the line was doing it. They would just stand up, and they would just kind of trot to the quarterback.
And
they were throwing bullets.
Max, did you see Max Crosby get his sack? And Russell Wilson was pissed because
I missed
Max.
Oh, Max Crosby from the Raiders?
He threw a spin move on the right tackle. He didn't tackle Russell Wilson.
He just grabbed him?
But he grabbed him up, and they took a sack on 4th down. And they asked why, and Max says, I was giving him 100% effort. He hit this right tackle with a spin move. And the right tackle's like,
what the?
You weren't supposed to. We had this agreement,
Hold on, man.
Bobby, we said that too. 2 worst teams should play for the number 1 pick.
I agreed with that. I absolutely agree.
But there's a difference here. There's a difference here. The Pro Bowl.
Let's throw this out here.
The Pro Bowl.
So we want to say, let's change the Pro Bowl to the 2 worst teams in football. But
you've got 2 different things here. The Pro Bowl, they take the best of the best people they voted to play. You take the 2 worst teams, it's not that way. They do this like Deion Sanders said it. He goes, and Shannon Sharp said it. He goes, it was an honorary thing to go to the Pro Bowl. You went there and you give 100%.
Yes.
Okay? But it's not that no more.
But it's not that no more. You're right. But how would you honor these guys?
You still get the Pro Bowl. Why do you have to play a game?
You still can get the award. They just don't have to have the game.
Why don't they do this?
Or have a different kind of game.
Once again, we talked about this. The MLB got it right. Again, why don't they just look at the Major League Baseball award ceremonies, awards? The MLB made the All-Star game the right to who gets home field advantage for the Super Bowl.
That's actually a good one too. Yeah, the All-Star game for the MLB actually means something.
Yes,
that's why they play their ass off.
They play this off because if the AL wins, they get the home field advantage.
That's true.
For the World Series.
Yes.
If the NL wins, they get it. So why wouldn't the NFL do it?
Yeah.
Put
something into it to make the game fun again.
Yes,
it's not fun anymore.
I know it's harder to do for them because of the fact that they buy years in advance on who gets the Super Bowl. It's like the Olympics, everybody bids in to see who gets to host the Olympics. The NFL sort of does the same thing. Why not change that? It might take a few years to sort of usher this into effect, but why not say, well, if the NFC wins,
some of these younger, and this is where we get into the. I'm not going to say it, but one of the players said, well, it's where you get these they have no. They're weak, I guess, because today's age of players is not like we had back then. The guy said the one I can't remember who said it. Said, well, we have it at the end of the season. We just played a long season. Why do we want to go out there and beat ourselves up? Well, you got voted to go there. You get paid for the game. Play the damn game.
I think it's what you said before. It's the honor. Back then, it was the honor to get to. I'm a pro. I'm one of the best at my position in the game. I'm going to go out and show that. Now today, I think because of the injuries, I think they're like, it's the last game of the season. Nobody wants to go on the off season. Let's just play the game, but let's not do it to full.
I wouldn't say they're sissies, because with Dak, he was offered to go and he said no. I'd much rather get my body right. I'm coming off an injury. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get with my teammates. I'm taking this off. He turned the Pro Bowl down,
and a lot of guys do.
That is the problem. I think them allowing, I know they've done it for years. I don't know, probably the whole time the Pro Bowl's been, but they allow the Super Bowl players to skip out, and it gives alternatives. Great. So I got to go play in a game where I've voted an alternative. I wasn't even your Pro Bowl guy.
Yeah, but I understand that one. Because if you're going to a Super Bowl, you don't.
Put the damn Super Bowl before the Pro Bowl like it used to be.
Well, you're right. That should be, yeah.
That's why these guys are backing out, because they made the Pro Bowl before the Super Bowl. Well, put the Super Bowl before and then
like it used to be.
Wait 3-4 weeks and then play the Pro Bowl.
When did that change? Who was the commissioner? Was Goodell the commissioner?
Goodell he was the commissioner. It was in 2000, what was that, 9 or 10? They changed it. It's only been changed for like 10 or 12 years.
They forced this. Their decision to swap these two around has taken the integrity of the game away. And then make it mean something. Just something as simple as the number 1 overall pick. And then the loser, like Dee said in our our group chat, make the loser fall to 5 or 6. What is there to play for if it's I get the 2nd pick? That's still not that bad. We'll make him fall to like 10.
Yeah, but even before, when it was good, they didn't have to play for picks. They went out because it was an honorary thing. They knew it meant something.
But times have changed. They're wanting to change overtime rules, man. What's wrong with the overtime rules?
We've talked about this.
I know, but there's still people that
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
think that there's nothing wrong with it. Just like people are saying, well, these guys are a bunch of fucking pussies. Well, not necessarily. Times have just changed. Rules have changed. Games have been switched around. So the NFL is taking the integrity away from the Pro Bowl.
But they haven't changed anything to change the Pro Bowl.
They have. They switched the game around.
Yeah, they switched the game around, but I'm saying they should. These guys that went out there, like Deion Sanders, Shannon Sharp, they knew what it meant to go out there and play. These guys here, they don't care. They look at it, their season's over with, they go out there and they don't give a shit. It doesn't mean nothing to them.
Well, who was the one that changed the Pro Bowl? Was it the NFL that stepped in and said, we're not going to do this hitting anymore, we're just going to make it friendly, and it's for the fans and show off, and basically, is that the NFL that did that?
It was just a couple years ago where Odell Beckham was dancing and they delayed the game because he was dancing. That was what, 2000?
So I'm asking,
Jenny, we're going to
who
get to
changed the rules of what
I know, I don't
we
know.
just
I don't
saw?
know.
When
Right,
did
I
it
don't know.
change?
I don't
And
even
who did
necessarily
it?
know if it changed. I think they just kind of, that's the way they played.
So they need to,
No, because remember last year it was kind of the same thing. It kind of was
That's
like
what I
that
mean.
last year.
I think that they've came in with the mentality, well, we're just going to go out and do a little Humpty Dumpty and be done.
So in order to bring that integrity back, they're going to have to make a change. It's the only way you bring it. If you keep running it the same way, these players are going to keep treating it the same way.
Well, yeah, if you're
Bobby said when his dad was a kid, the college kids used to play the champs. Is that for like champs in the Pro Bowl? Is that what he means?
Well, also, the Olympics wasn't professional players either at that time. So that has changed. We have to realize that things change. So the NFL has to be smart enough to adapt to change.
I'm good with the change.
Whether that be we figure out a way to make it more meaningful.
That's right, Bobby. Privilege. That's right. That's what I said.
It is a privilege, but some people don't see it that way no more, and there's no problem with that.
Or they might all just see it as they're not pussies. They're just, man, there's no reason for us to really
also-
go balls out.
here's
hurt
another-
ourselves.
here's another
we're on
example.
showcase to be the best players out there. The fans are coming because they want to see us. They do a bunch of the autographs. You get a lot of the pictures, and then it's
Here's another
everyone
thing.
do this game, but it's more.
Here's another thing that's changed too: money. There wasn't people making half a $500 million.
Spit it out, Mike.
Well, there wasn't back in the 80s, 70s, 90s. These guys were still playing for really good money, but not the type of money that they're playing for now. So these guys are saying
they
I'm
don't
not
want to get hurt because
Yeah.
of the money they make.
No, I'm not losing $40 million next year because I got hurt. In a game that really doesn't mean a thing. We don't play for nothing. It means nothing other than I made the Pro Bowl. I can go out here and give my integrity or not. Because when Sean Taylor killed, I forget who the quarterback was.
It wasn't the quarterback. It was the punter.
Punter.
Mormon.
Yeah, Mormon.
They said he was warned by the NFL not to ever do that again. Not to ever do that again in a Pro Bowl.
I remember hearing that because they said it was a Pro Bowl. It was supposed to be fun. It was
He
supposed
was
to showcase
told
for
not
everybody.
to do that again.
And Sean was like, "Fuck you.
Yeah.
I play."
So
Did you know he? I think wasn't he killed the next season?
I don't want to go that far to say that. I don't know that part.
I want to find out.
Yeah. Because they did warn him and tell him don't hit like that again. Don't do it. Because it's a Pro Bowl. Oh, he was awesome. But I'm not saying you don't have to play with that type of integrity or that type of intensity, but at least treat the game like it's still a freaking football game. That was embarrassing to watch on Sunday. It was miserable.
When you've got other ex-NFL players coming out and talking the shit they are about it, that says a lot.
So, so we sort of got off topic there. Why we got on that is, everybody knows shortly after the Pro Bowl ended, professional players, for the most part, should not be allowed to go to Vegas. They all get in trouble. Yeah. They all Sin City for a reason. So, we all know Kamara went and beat somebody up.
Next year.
Yeah, he did. Went and beat somebody up. We don't know. I haven't read why he did it or if he even was the one who did it. They just know that he is the one being identified as the person who beat this dude up who went to the hospital. What we do know is in Vegas what we read is Vegas has a zero tolerance for assault that causes bodily harm. Mm-hmm. So it's a mandatory 1 year in prison and a bunch of fines. So we talked about it a couple weeks ago that the Saints are in cap hell, $70-some million above the cap.
If this plays out, he's gone.
So what's his future? Do they use this as an escape clause? Maybe there's a clause in his contract that says if you do get assault charges or in trouble with the law, maybe they save a bunch of money, even more money, or they can get out of his contract. We said, I think a couple weeks ago,
Isaac said, yet they have a team in Vegas.
It's
you
true.
don't want no players in Vegas.
No, I was never. I think the stadium's cool.
I guess Jenny said he threw 8 punches, is what she read so far.
Okay, yeah. So
if it did, and he does get convicted of this and is guilty, I look for New Orleans to let him go anyway, because cap issues. 1, 2, this
it's assault.
Yeah, this is a big thing for him. If he does go to jail for a year, his NFL career is over.
What we don't know, though, is why he did it. That's going to play a factor, too.
And you're right. If they went and antagonized him, and, that's – I don't care what anyone says. That happens. People see an NFL player come in someplace. They're going to try to antagonize him, get him mad, so they can look at it as a money thing and sue him.
Hold on. He was on the elevator with him and his friends. Man approached him to get onto the elevator. Some words were exchanged. Alvin Kamara put his hands on the man's chest and told him, "You're not getting in this elevator with us." The man hid his hands away. As soon as he did that, somebody in Kamara's party decked him. As soon as he hit the ground, they all stomped on him. 23 times he was hit. They broke his eye socket. They mangled his face. He was busted up ribs. And Alvin Kamara was spotted by other people who said, what Jenny said, he hit him 8 times. 3 of the blows were when he was on the ground. He went down and actually hit him.
Footage of this?
It's not that I know that there's any footage, but they're saying that there was more than one witness that witnessed this account happening. So that they didn't say what the man said to him. All they know is there was some words exchanged at the elevator. Kamara put his hands on him, and when he did that, the man slapped his hands away and said, "Don't touch me." Dude decked him. As soon as he fell, they said they just boot stomped him.
Kamara's got to be bigger than that. You're a professional.
But even if they don't have the footage and they don't have enough to back it to say, even with the witnesses, that he did it, the fact that he was involved is bad enough.
Yeah,
because he was involved.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could play. It's still hearsay, whether people want to believe it or not.
That's not true. If there's enough witnesses that all collaborate the same story, that is enough to convict him. It is enough, but it still doesn't mean he's guilty.
I don't think he spends a day in jail.
That is what I'm saying. Is he's got enough money to buy himself out.
If a drunk driver sports guy can kill somebody and not serve a day in prison, I don't think he's going to prison. I don't think he's going to jail. He's got enough money to buy his way out of it, and we've all found out
that works.
If you've got money and you've got pull power, it works. I
don't know how much pull power he has.
I mean, being a star in the NFL, he's a name.
He has tons of money.
Right.
Tons of money.
So, I mean, he'll be able to buy his way out. And we know how the justice system is. It's one of the most corrupted things there is on the planet. And the more money you got, the more trouble you can get out of. So I don't think he spends a day.
I want to know if he's got any marks on his. If you hit somebody, you got marks on your knuckles.
Not if he stomped him.
No, they said he said
3 times when he was on the ground. He actually threw punches and hit him 3 times.
Jenny said in there that there's 8 punches. So, I mean, that's when I got hit with my disorderly conduct. They looked at my knuckles. It says we will know if you fought somebody because there's going to be marks on your hands if you threw punches and actually hit somebody. That played a factor in what the cops wanted to look at. They even took pictures of my hands for court because I was going to court. I didn't have nothing. Crazy. I didn't hit nobody. That's why I told them I didn't hit nobody. I was attacked. So they still did not believe me and took pictures of my hands.
We got a criminal podcast over here.
No, my brother actually was the one who was throwing the punches and ran in his car.
All right, let's not implement any people.
No, we all got charged. We all got disorderly conducts. But so do they think do they release them?
Yes.
Yeah, you already know. I think they do. I think that this is they're in a rebuild mode anyway. Now they got a guy who's in an altercation. Go away. Go away. Get away from it.
I think they're going to wait to see how it plays out.
Oh, I think so.
I don't think they're just going to jump out. I think they're going to. You look at Hunt.
Remember, Hunt when Hunt got said what happened.
But it's 2 different organizations.
Like a week later.
No, but Kansas City said they made a huge mistake doing it. They should have waited to see what the outcome was going to be. And they wouldn't have released him, they said.
Bobby said, nah, look at their face. They'll know.
Well, I mean, it still does. I get that part, but it still doesn't prove he hit somebody.
I mean, if there is enough witnesses that were there that said he did it, I mean, that's enough to implement you. That's enough to at least charge you. That's what I think.
It's enough to charge.
I think he gets charged with it. I think they're already looking at it like
Mooney. If he gets
I think
charged
they're having
with
the talk that they should
well,
release him anyway.
That is completely going against your narrative. If he gets charged with this, he's going to jail. There's zero tolerance in Vegas. They've made that clear. If he is charged and convicted of this, he will serve prison time.
We'll see.
So if he doesn't get charged and buys his way out, he's going to probably see probation saying, "Well, we can't prove whether you did it or didn't do it. We have," and these other two guys will go down. With the ones
I don't know how many were in the party.
There's an elevator. If it's an elevator, ain't there cameras in just about every elevator?
I don't know.
Don't they have to have that because if it gets stuck?
Not every other elevator has them.
Well, they're in Vegas, I would imagine.
Vegas probably does. You would think.
You would think they'd have them in there.
Since we're on players getting in trouble, you look at the Commanders. Safety. Today just turned himself in.
Yeah.
For the accident that killed his girlfriend back in December 23rd.
Yeah, I remember that.
When you ran, you're guilty. I don't care.
Well, no, he didn't run. They didn't charge him or anything at that point. They just charged him for it this week, and he turned himself in after they charged him for it. So he didn't run. He went and turned himself in, and they're doing their due diligence on trying to defend him and everything. They said he was going over twice the speed limit was 45. They said he was going over twice that speed when he wrecked, and it killed his girlfriend.
So how did he walk away from this?
What do you mean? They didn't arrest him at the time. They did their investigation through it and everything, and then charged him at the time to get the circumstances.
They arrested Henry Ruggs because of alcohol, I would imagine then.
Yeah, they arrested him because of the blood alcohol level that they tested for. That's why they arrested him. Okay. I guess he didn't have blood alcohol. What's his? Shoot, I had his name right there.
Deshaun, I think.
Yeah, Deshaun. Yeah, he didn't have any alcohol. It wasn't alcohol related. He was just speeding. So it was a little different circumstances at the time. So
yeah, okay, just being the alcohol part of it.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I know that is. Well, we do need, since we're there, we said it. Washington Commanders. Yuck.
Bobby Compton, Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
Talk about money getting off.
He got acquitted. Didn't he go to trial?
He got acquitted. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the same with what was the other one?
What was O.J.
He was
Simpson's?
one of murder. O.J. Simpson. No, not that one. Who am I? Oh, never mind. I don't want to say it. I'm not bringing it up. But yeah, he got acquitted. No, I was talking about Ben Roethlisberger's rape thing. Didn't he? That didn't even go to trial, did it?
I mean, shout out. I mean, Jenny, I'm sorry to say, but Kobe Bryant was acquitted of rape also.
That's right. He was acquitted of rape.
God rest his soul, but he was part of it.
Camara said he punched him once. Video showed 8 times. If convicted, he faces 5 years.
So there is a video. Footage. That's what I asked earlier.
She said cops have seen a surveillance video.
Okay.
So we haven't to the public, but the cops have.
He has admitted that he hit somebody.
Yeah, he said he hit him one time. He said if convicted, he faces 5 years.
It's a mandatory 1 year period.
Buying his way out of it.
Maximum 5, mandatory 1.
You can be charged with something, but then you can take a plea deal. And the plea deal is, here's $5 million. All right. We'll give you probation. That's what I'm saying. He ain't going to jail.
I don't. Everything I was reading on there is it's a zero tolerance. So I don't know if they. I don't know. I'm not part of the court system.
Zero tolerance until you get a multi-millionaire in there to give you some money.
It's probably true, but
it's a corrupt system. I don't care what town it is.
Drew said he likes the Washington name. By the way,
I'm going. Then this is what they're going to have to live with.
I'm going commando.
They're going to have to be called the Washington Commies. Everybody's going to call them the Commies. That's what they're going to call them. And that is about as
That's what Bobby said. The Commies.
The Commies. That's what they're going to go short.
Bobby said Plexico Burress couldn't buy himself out.
Oh, when he shot himself in the nightclub with the handgun? Remember that.
I'm also going to tell you this much, too, Mooney. There's a bigger one than both of them. Michael Vick couldn't buy his way out either.
Oh, well,
and he just signed he signed a massive 10-year deal before he got in trouble with that. Millions of dollars, the biggest name in football at that point.
He killed multiple.
It doesn't he still couldn't buy his way.
He killed multiple dogs, and he was making money off it in gambling. Alvin Kamara only punched a guy. He's not going to jail.
Ruggs killed a girl.
He should go to prison.
But he
should go to prison. He was drunk driving. He killed another woman. He should go to prison.
He should serve jail time. But
yes.
he makes millions of dollars. Why couldn't he buy his way out?
He might too, because like I said, Dante Stallworth killed that man. And
But
he
that
was
man
drunk
was
when he
also
did it.
drunk, too.
Doesn't matter.
That man was drunk
He
too. That's
still,
pretty
it
much
doesn't
why
matter. It still falls on the guy who was driving the car and he was drunk. So
I think why he walked, though,
different.
is why they said that in there was because the guy was drunk and it played a factor. There was still a factor being
he was
played.
still driving the car and he was drunk.
Isaac, we say the same thing.
What?
He goes, it took 2 years to come up with that name? Come on, man.
Dude, it's horrible. It's horrible. It sounds like a created Madden team.
They should have stuck with Washington Redskins in the first place.
No, but they changed it, so they should have just stuck with Washington. I like Washington football team better. WFT was better.
What the fuck?
But, I mean, it was just better. Huh? It would be WFT, not WTF.
Oh, that's right.
What fuck the?
Yeah. What fuck the?
They had so many different ones they could have picked.
I don't
and
know
they
why-
went
Little
with-
dyslexic.
I like it. I thought the Commanders was pretty cool.
because you probably created several Madden teams
Never used the name
and
Commanders.
used Commanders.
Ever.
And then their
I
jerseys.
actually wondered though why
their
they didn't
jerseys
say,
are pitiful.
Being in Washington, why they didn't make it the Generals?
Their jerseys are pitiful.
Washington Generals?
Yeah,
Same as Commanders.
right. Exactly.
It's horrible.
Nah, I don't.
They
think
could have
so.
went Red Tails. They
Washington
coulda went-
Beavers.
And I thought their uniforms looked pretty good.
They're plain.
Oh, I like them.
Why? Because one's black.
I like them.
They didn't even change the helmets.
Bobby said Jim Brown hung a lady from a balcony by her feet.
Oh yeah, but he wasn't. He was never charged with that. It did happen.
Did they have video evidence?
No, it was no.
Then how do we know it happened?
It happened
How do you know?
because there were enough people there. that saw it.
Why is that so funny
I
to
don't get
you?
why that's funny. Must be because it's his favorite running back.
It is.
Yeah, that's why. So
Isaac
it's the
said munch,
story,
munch, munch.
right?
I think he's referring to me calling him Washington Beavers.
they could have done anything.
That'd have been their cheer in the crowd. Munch, munch, munch.
It literally, like you remember playing Madden back in the day, and you create a Madden team. Their jerseys are about as basic as they come. They just made a black one.
Generic jersey.
Yeah, the W didn't change. It's the same W they had on the helmet all year long. They just put a black one out there with Commanders written right here on their shoulder. Awesome, you just displaced it. It's not across the middle, it's on the side.
Yeah.
Cool. It's like people with my chest tattoo. Make fun of me, but yet they put the same thing on there. They just displace it over here. It's still on your chest, stupid. It might not be as big as mine, but you still put it there, dummy. There are people that like it. Whether or not you like it, I'm not bashing whether you like it.
I
bashing
still think
that
it should
it's
have said
horrible.
Washington Redskins.
Yeah, no, man,
I
it
guess
should have never changed.
Should never. Cleveland Indians. Should have said Cleveland Indians.
Yep. Yeah, the Guardians. Isaac said it earlier, and he struggled to say Guardians. That was a horrible name. Cleveland
I think
Guardians.
That is a horrible name. That is a horrible name. I don't agree with that one.
Both of them are about as basic as what you can
I
do.
like
That's
the
cancel
Commanders.
culture for you. You better watch what he said. They'll put us on cancel culture. We ain't got started.
Yeah.
They said, guys, you know what? 2 years later, I got it. They're like, what, man? What do we got? Commanders.
It's pretty good.
And you're like,
I like it.
you're like, dude, we said that 2 years ago.
Yeah, but
And
now
it
it sounds so much
It
better.
was stupid
Right.
then. It's stupid now.
I think I'm going to become
Anything.
a fan of the Commanders. Get a Commander jersey.
Be better than the Browns.
I know.
Because I know. They got a good quarterback.
They do.
No, they don't.
Taylor Henneke is better than Baker Mayfield.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He is. He's going to be the face of the NFL coming up the next 5 years. He'll win a Super Bowl before Baker will.
He's not going to be in the league next year.
Okay. They're going to sign him to a franchise deal.
Yeah.
$250
Yeah.
million.
I read Aaron Rodgers is going to Washington.
Okay.
He's not going to go be a Commander, bro.
According to
he's
NFL
not.
Nobody-
reports, Aaron's going to every team.
Nobody.
What I'm reading.
Nobody wants to
He
be a
ain't-
Commander. Nobody.
No.
They're going to be like, dude.
I'd be a commander.
Well, they're going to have to take somebody like you.
Commander in what? The gay club?
It doesn't matter. I'm a commander. That's all that matters.
So we do have another thing. Staying on the same topic. So we agree. I think we all mutually agree that they're going to wait it out. But I think ultimately Kamara gets released.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So now,
But is he done in the NFL though? Even if he gets released,
no,
if he beats the charges, I mean, if he pays his way out or whatever, is he done in the NFL?
I don't think so.
No.
We've seen Kareem Hunt back. He committed assault charge
We've
what he
seen
did.
Michael Vick serve prison time and come back.
and come
Okay,
back.
all right.
We've seen Tyreek Hill legitimately beat his pregnant girlfriend. He's still playing.
So
in the league.
where's the landing spot for him? Because I'm pretty sure he's out of
It just depends on what's available at that. I want to see if it's released first.
Well, let's just play this for a second. Let's say he does get released. So he's released. He's outright free. Any team can get him. What's a good fit for
Dolphins.
Really?
They have no running back.
True. But do you think he would want to go to a Super Bowl contending team?
Would that make him pretty good?
It would make him a Super Bowl contending team.
Depends how Tua plays.
All right. I mean, it legitimately hinders on what they do with Tua. Because they're still not out of the running. I still don't believe they're out of the running for Deshaun Watson. They had a trade set up for Deshaun, but he couldn't get cleared. That was their stipulation to the Dolphins, or the Dolphins to the Texans was, we will give you exactly what you want as long as he's cleared. He couldn't get cleared, so they said no deal, which means they're willing to give Houston exactly what they want. So say they land Deshaun. He's cleared. They land him. All right. So say Kamara's released. He's not found guilty. We'll say he walks like you say. He gets probation. So really, you're not really all found all that guilty. You got some probation time. You serve probably a 7 to 10 game suspension through the NFL. Wouldn't think adding him, if they have Deshaun Watson, makes him a title contender? Super Bowl favorite?
Well, I think adding Deshaun Watson makes him a title contender. Just him by himself.
Yeah.
So that receiving core?
Did you see the receiving core he had to throw to in Texans?
No, that's what he's saying.
That's
I think he's giving them saying
That's
he's
what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
the Dolphins a better receiving core. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Oh,
With that
yeah.
receiving
with
core.
And they have a
receiving core.
defense.
Yeah.
Dolphins defense is pretty good.
So
yeah, they're a contender with Deshaun. So you still don't agree though. Where's your landing spot?
That's a tough one.
Is it?
I don't think Miami. Could be, but I don't think Miami. I mean, if he wanted to go to I could see him go to a place like Baltimore.
they
got J.K. Dobbins.
They got JK. I don't know if they would
I
do it.
think-
Dobbins is a beast.
They
He
like
just
him.
got hurt.
They like him. That's why I don't know if they would. I mean, if you get him for cheap, why wouldn't you turn him
That's
down?
what I mean. I mean, you get, and that's a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, I mean,
that
most-
1-2 punch.
yeah, I mean, it's true. It is true.
They should trade for Deshaun.
Who?
Baltimore.
Anyways,
I think I've said this before. I put it in our.
Isaac
our
said,
group.
"What about the Bills?"
I said the Bills.
Bills would be nice.
Bills is where I think it makes sense.
I also think there's a dark horse, Cardinals, because both the Cardinals running backs are.
But you say you like James Conner.
He's a free agent. They have to re-sign him. Both Edmonds and him. I think they do ultimately re-sign him.
I think they have a bigger issue in Arizona than running back.
Yep,
right
that's
now.
why I went Arizona. So
What's the issue?
So Kyler Murray
what's going
takes
on
off.
with Kyler Murray.
What is our speculations?
Yeah, we led into that.
What is our speculations on
He wants out.
Kyler Murray removing all the Arizona stuff from his
Social media. He wants out. Why else are you removing it?
But what's his reasoning for wanting out?
That's what I don't know. I talked about that. Okay, because I said if you just muted, like Baker Mayfield, Baker Mayfield deleted his Twitter account, but he said, I don't want the outside noise right now. I just don't want to hear it. I'm not going anywhere.
Same thing LeBron
He
does.
didn't take off the Cleveland stuff. He just deleted his Twitter account. I understand that. Get some silence. Kyler still has his Twitter account, still has his Instagram. He just took everything Arizona off. To me, that's like, you're saying, I'm not supporting this team. I don't want to be here.
No.
That's what I get from that. Why else would you take it off from there?
Could he be? He's up for contract. Could this be a leverage move for money?
He's due 2022, isn't he?
He's get his 5th-year option.
Doesn't need to do that for
most
leverage.
Maybe he wants it for money. Well, he struggled. He could need it for leverage. Just saying the fact of is Kyler has melded in the second half of the season the last 2 years to where they were one of the better teams in football. Melded in the second half and missed the playoffs. Other than they made the playoffs this year, but he played absolutely.
I think Isaac, that's a good idea, Isaac.
Okay, but even
more in Seattle if they keep Russ.
I mean, I think he fits just about anywhere.
But I don't see why this year he had an excuse why he kind of fell off. When Hopkins got injured, that's when he went downhill.
No, he got hurt too for the second year in a row.
Yeah, but I'm saying his performance fell off right after Hopkins got hurt. he was having a stellar year with Hopkins in there. Which still, he had Green. Green's still not a receiver just to snuff. I mean, he's still a good receiver.
Yeah, and they went out and got Zach Ertz, who played awesome for him. James Conner had a resurrection year. Edmonds did get hurt. He come back and finally played later on in the season. They still had Christian Kirk, so he has plenty of options to throw to. I know losing, we've always said it, that number one matters. So losing him is a big deal.
And Hopkins is a great receiver.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, losing him was huge. But Kyler wants bank.
I don't think removing everybody from your team off your social media is
maybe he don't want
tells you anything.
Well, maybe he doesn't.
Okay, that's going to get me an extra $50 million. No,
maybe he won't.
No.
Maybe he doesn't want the outside noise. Maybe he just feels that
then
he had
you
a bad
delete your account. You don't take all your stuff off. He still has an Instagram account that's active and live. He just took every picture of everything that's got to do with Arizona off. How's that?
It's
how's
active,
that getting
but
noise
if
out?
if it's active, wouldn't he be posting stuff on there? Maybe he doesn't even get on it.
The last thing he posted was the Pro Bowl, and the Pro Bowl
He
was only
doesn't get
last
on it,
week,
then why
so he did
delete
post.
everything?
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Why I don't. There's
I
no
don't
reason
think he wants
for
to
him.
be in Arizona.
There's no reason, but I mean, he's stuck. Period. There's nothing they can do. They're not going to trade Kyler Murray. They will not trade him.
Well, I wouldn't say not.
He
Everybody's
could do what a lot of
tradable.
other players do and hold out.
He could.
Oh, he could.
He could.
But they're going to make him sit like the Texans just did Deshaun Watson.
Maybe, unless they get something for him.
It'd be the
There's
dumbest
always
thing
that.
Arizona ever did in their entire lifetime. Is the trade that dude. I know. I think it means something.
And we may be looking too much into it. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe he's just
Why would you delete your team?
Well, that's
off
what I'm
your
saying.
social
I mean,
media?
yeah, we look at it and it looks bad. But like I said, maybe he did it for another reason. I mean, we don't know.
He hasn't come out
It's all
and said
speculation
anything.
right now. Nothing.
It is.
He hasn't came out and said
He
anything.
hasn't.
Yeah. So
No.
it's
But why though? We're still going to be able to question what the fuck are you
why?
doing?
But
Why? Why
Well,
would you do that?
I understand why.
Bobby said Kyler to Detroit.
I understand why LeBron deletes all social media going into the playoffs. He
Right.
wants no distraction. I don't agree with Baker Mayfield doing what he does. You can't take the outside noise and you want to be a franchise quarterback for somebody. That to me can show you're a weak human being. I don't agree with him deleting all of his stuff. What is the difference from deleting your stuff off there and deleting it, period? You're getting rid of your Browns stuff at that point. You want nothing to do with the Browns right now as you're in the offseason because what you say, he doesn't want the outside noise. So obviously you want to hear nothing about the Browns.
No. It's got nothing to do with the Browns. It's got to do with him personally. He doesn't want to hear people bash him, talk shit about him. It's got nothing to do with the Browns.
You're going to have that no matter.
Right, you are. Because even when he gets the Twitter account back again, it's going to happen.
Right, so what's the
But he
point
just,
in
as of
deleting
right now, he had the surgery. He wanted to go through his healing process, and he wanted to be left alone. So he wanted to be off social media, and I don't even want it on my phone. So he got rid of everything. The difference with that and Kyler is Kyler still has it all, just I'm going to get rid of everything that's got to do with Arizona. Well, that's different. That's different. So that, to me, it means something.
Different. I give you that. But
it's one of them things we have to wait. Off season's just starting. A lot of things can happen in this off season. It's a long off season. We're gonna see. I think we're gonna see a lot of things start happening here.
I just want to know why he did it. And they said that he's been hard to reach since the Pro Bowl. That no one's been able to really reach him.
And I can't see if somebody wants to say, well, this is a mental thing. It's his mental health. Why did you leave everything Arizona, but you left everything Alabama?
Shocker. This will be a shocker. He retires.
Left Alabama. He doesn't have anything Alabama.
He's got the picture on not Alabama.
He left 2 pictures on there.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said?
Oklahoma and
Oklahoma
his
is
Pro
what
Bowl
I
picture.
mentioned. Oklahoma.
Shocker. He retires. He don't want to play football no more.
That's not a shocker because he's brilliant at baseball. He did get drafted by the Oakland A's. But,
thanks, Bobby.
He is coming out of his.
Bobby said he loves the podcast.
Yeah, he is coming out. Thank you, Bobby. He is coming out.
Bobby.
Of his. He has one more year. His 5th-year option.
I don't think he's going to quit and go baseball.
I heard his talent. He's really good.
He is. He's extremely good.
And
Wasn't
maybe
he an all-star in college?
Well, you didn't think Michael Jordan was going to retire and go play baseball either.
Nobody talked
And
about
baseball's
that
probably baseball has to be a little bit easier on his body. Obviously, not the wear and tear on his body. I could see him making that change if he's got a baseball team willing to give him the money he's making now, if not more, why
He'd
not?
make more in baseball
That's what I
than he
mean,
would
so
football.
why not
depending
jump?
on how good he is.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Right, yeah.
So why not jump?
And
So
Russ-
that's a huge possibility.
Russ tried out every single year before they told him he wasn't.
Didn't he get drafted by the Rangers
something like that?
when he got drafted to the NFL?
And he tried out for the Yankees a couple times. So he was not
Keeps his options open.
he was not completely high on his football career. Tony Romo tried out for golf every single year and said if he would have been able to make the PGA, he would have possibly walked away from football also because his first love is golf. Kyler has always said he absolutely loves baseball.
So go into the NFL, try it out,
So
do a couple
question.
years, and then be like, you know what? I'm going to go baseball now.
You
'Cause
know,
I'm still
worst,
young.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, he leaves Arizona and goes baseball.
Mhm.
What does Arizona do for quarterback?
Oh my God, I don't know, dude. I don't think we've ever
Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't think we've ever seen
Hey, that's an option.
I mean,
other
he's in
than
the same division.
other than Dion and Bo doing it in off seasons or whatever, we've only ever seen Michael leave to ultimately. They say he didn't leave to play baseball, or they say he did. Whatever it was,
Regardless, he went and
did
played
it.
baseball after he left.
So we've never seen a franchise quarterback say, "I don't want to resign. I
But-
want to play baseball."
But how often have we seen a franchise quarterback come out and have the skill level that he has at
Well, we've
baseball?
seen it. We've seen it though with Russ.
Yeah, but it was Russ as good as Kyler.
We don't know how good Kyler is. Russ was a
Russ
first round
won a
draft pick.
Super Bowl pick. Or Super Bowl pick.
Super Bowl? Yeah,
He said
yeah.
pick. He won a Super Bowl. And Russ
did.
wasn't a first round pick.
Yes, he was. He was drafted. Russ was drafted out of
Oh,
Wisconsin.
you're talking
to play
in baseball. I was talking in the
Yes.
NFL.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
No.
baseball.
Yeah, baseball, he was drafted.
So
yeah.
why didn't he stick with baseball? Why did he come to football?
He was already playing football. He didn't want to. He wanted to pursue his football career. He was becoming better at Wisconsin than what he was at NC State. So he was moving on with football and decided I'm going to pursue football. He already said there was a possibility if he wasn't drafted, he was going to go play baseball. I'm talking drafted in the NFL, that he was going to go play
What
baseball.
round did he go in? Second, wasn't it?
No, he was like a fifth rounder.
Was it a fifth?
He was late.
Russell in
Russ.
the NFL?
Yeah, he was
It's
like
fifth.
Was it
round.
fifth?
Yeah.
Fifth round.
Because they had Matt Flynn at that time. Matt Flynn was their guy in
Oh, yeah.
Seattle.
Yep, came from Green Bay.
Yeah, and then Russ beat him out. So, I don't know, man. It's something that we wanted to speculate on. I think we all threw out some pretty nice options, with what it means. It means something. Obviously, we don't know what it means, but we are allowed to speculate and give our opinions on what we think it means. You guys think he just might? Let's put something out there.
Oh, boy.
Kyler goes and plays baseball after next year.
He's going to play for the Guardians.
I don't know who he plays for. I don't know because he can't. I don't think he can be drafted anymore now. So he would have to sign.
It'd be a free agent move.
I think. Well, I'm going to say it. And he plays next year as a starting quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals, and he leaves football to play baseball.
What? You just said he... Did I misunderstand what you just said?
Yeah, he's still the starter next year. He has his 5th-year option in Arizona.
So he stays
leaves.
for one more year
Yes.
and then goes.
He can't get out of his contract. I think he plays it out, gets his money, and leaves.
Well, he can get. He don't want. He goes.
They have the team option. He can sit out if he wants.
Yeah, he can sit out and go play baseball.
But I think he plays. He finishes it out, and then he dips.
But if that's the case, if he finishes it out, why delete Arizona and everything now?
I don't know. I don't really actually. To be honest, I don't care about that Instagram deleting his
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
Well, I don't know what the truth is until he says why he did it. I'm speculating as he's losing the love for football.
Well, hold on. You do care that he did it.
Because you brought
Because
this
we wouldn't be
subject up.
talking about it if he didn't do that. So it does matter.
Well, because
So,
how we
who
come to an
cares?
agreement, we don't know why he did it.
Right, but the whole problem we're talking about this is because he deleted the shit off of
Right,
Instagram. And he deleted his
So
Twitter
since we've
account. So
talked
it
about
matters.
I've said I could care less on why he did it now. He's leaving. That's what I'm saying.
I got you.
That's all I mean by that. What do you guys think? What are you saying?
I don't know. I honestly, I
He's
don't know what he's
retiring
doing.
from football.
Oh my god! Holy,
That's pretty much what he would do.
You will shit if I'm right.
I
When it
mean,
comes
that's
out in a couple
true.
weeks,
He would be
retires.
retiring
He
if
would
he went to
retire
go play
if he went to play
baseball.
baseball.
So it is true. But Jesus,
Do you
so
think he
both you
play-
guys
do you
are saying
still-
he's
no.
going to retire in a year?
So do you think?
Hey, I've already called one.
crazy.
I've already called one retirement this year.
So
I mean,
is he the starting quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals next year?
50-50.
I don't know.
You got to give me an answer.
No.
I don't know what's
50-50
going
is an
on.
answer.
Give me an answer.
50-50.
Yes or no?
I don't know.
There's your answer. All right,
I don't know because of that whole. I don't know because I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what's the reason.
I want to listen. I want to hear more of what's going on.
To me personally, I would at this point, if this is all I had to go on, I would right now say he's not.
Well, and like I said,
given what he's doing,
we could be reading into this too much. That's why I say I want to hear more what's going on. I want to hear from him.
But that's why we're speculating
and kind of say, well, hey,
you guys, everybody's freaking out. It was my nephew. He had my phone. He deleted all my shit.
That'd be funny as
That'd be funny as hell if they said that. That would be hilarious. We do have another topic. We want to talk on,
what? Lions will have a top 10 defense, top 10 offensive line next year.
And somebody said, did they say Kyler to Detroit?
Yeah, Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby.
Bobby always says
what
that.
is, I want to,
Bobby
before we move on for a second, what is so wrong with Jared Goff?
I will agree with Bobby. If they have the chance to get Kyler Murray, I'm shipping Jared Goff out the building in a heartbeat.
Jared Goff isn't even a bad quarterback. I saw his stats.
But he's not as good as Kyler Murray.
Why?
Jared
Goff has had better seasons than Kyler Murray's had yet.
That is
passing. Passing.
We had one good year, really.
We're talking Super Bowl. He had two 4,000-yard seasons, one 3,900-yard season. This past year, they were bad, but he still touchdown-interception ratio was extremely well, over 60% completion percentage. He threw like 3,700 yards.
That's why I tell you this.
How's he bad?
The Lions are not 2-14 this year, 2-15, whatever they were, 3-14, 2-15.
Don't say it if they give Kyler.
If they had Kyler, they're not.
God.
Look what
they're not.
Wow.
They're not.
Okay. All right.
I don't think they have They may not have that bad of a record, but I don't think they're in the playoffs with him.
I didn't say that. I did not say they were a playoff team. I said they're not 2-15 or 3-14, whatever they want. I'm saying I did not say they were a playoff team. Let's not put words in my mouth on that one because I do not believe he has that. He doesn't have that kind of factor.
No.
But Jared Goff did not show the ability to win either. And he was the starting quarterback, and you say he was putting up great stats.
But let's just say, to look at Detroit's receiving crew, the receiving crew that Jared Goff's got to deal with.
They have an argument for Rookie of the Year. And or however you say his name, Armon Brown, or however you say his name. That dude was a monster this year with several shitty quarterbacks. Or I won't say, I take that back because I don't think Goff is a shitty quarterback.
That's the only quarterback they had.
No, he missed a bunch of time there, and they had to run out that. Who played for you guys, against you guys? That quarterback. He'll know. Bobby will say who their backup quarterback was.
Bobby said weak arm Goff.
Weak arm Goff? Yeah, he has got a very weak arm. They've always said that. Who was their backup quarterback?
Yeah, Goff only missed 2 games this year.
Yeah. And they played one against you guys. And I believe they tied. St. Arm Brown. His name's hard to say. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. But dude was a monster for them.
What was his stats?
Oh, I don't know. I think he had 90 catches, 1,200 yards, and 8 or 10 touchdowns. He was the one I picked up in fantasy the last 3 weeks, and you're like, who the hell is that?
Did you even start him?
Yes, I played him in the championship. He was a big part of the success I had the last 2 or 3 weeks. Brent dropped him for some reason. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
I don't know why he dropped him. He did.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had 90 catches for 912 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And he blew up late in the year.
Pretty good.
Once they started targeting him more. They used the heck out of him towards the end of the year.
75% of his catches. 75% of throws his way he caught. That's pretty good.
They were just mind-boggling on how they changed it. And the
Blah, how do you say that last name? Blah? B-L-U-G-H?
Oh, Blau. That's the backup. Backup quarterback that wasn't very good. And for Jared Goff, if he only missed 2 games, I thought he missed a little more than that, but if he only missed 2 games, his numbers were absolutely weak.
Because
he's
an idiot. That's what Brent said.
I know. Oh, because he dropped him? Yeah, because if Brent would have kept him, I don't think I beat him.
David Blau's not the one who played. It was Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle played those 2 games.
I mean, still, it was Jared Goff he put up meaty mediocre stats. What he finished with 17 touchdowns.
19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 67% of his passes completed, 3,245 yards. It doesn't help because his receiving core is trash. Other than that one guy, Brown, shows some promise. And the running backs, we all know they're not good. They're not good.
He didn't have a very good surrounding in Detroit.
And their offensive line is not that great.
Their running back is good.
I mean, they could talk all
they
they
have
want
a
about.
really good running back in Detroit. He just got hurt again this year.
What was his stats when they went to the Super Bowl?
He had a good year. That was his monster year. That was when he had like 33 touchdowns and 10 picks or 12 picks.
So
or
the guy
like
has potential to light up and to be good. You give him the right surrounding.
So the Super Bowl year was 2018.
Yeah, I think that's when they went.
That's when he 65% of his passes, 46-88 in passing, 32-12.
Yeah, I knew it was something. I said 33 and 10. So
he threw for 4,600 yards.
yeah.
Yeah, 46-88. The next year he threw 46-38. And less completion percentage and more attempts too. Less touchdowns, more interceptions.
That's when they got rid of him. That's when they went with Stafford. If he was
Still
such
4,600 yards.
No. Stafford was 2020. That we had one more year in LA, which was the year before that, or after that, which was 3,900 passing yards, 67% completion percentage, and 20 and 13. It fell more. And then he went to Detroit.
And I'm not saying Detroit made a bad trade because they didn't. He's not a Kyler Murray.
He can win games.
He can win games. You're gonna have to surround him with a shit ton of talent. He's just that person. I think Kyler obviously shown that he can win, but he gets even better with that legitimate number one being. I think a lot of quarterbacks would probably get really good with Hopkins to throw the ball too.
Yeah.
I mean, he helps a whole lot. But he collapsed. That's the only thing that worries me with Kyler is his feet. He seems to have tons of ankle issues. He's like Steph Curry early in his career. And I think and he looks bow-legged. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen Kyler run?
I guess I don't pay that much of attention to watch him run.
Yeah, he's bow-legged.
So he kind of runs like you?
It's weird how he runs.
You're right. Right, Bobby. That's what I said was that he's a game manager.
Yes,
Jared Goff's a great game manager. He's really good at it.
Hey, we have the Rams expert online. He said, and Goff still couldn't do what Stafford did in 1 year in L.A.
No, he couldn't, though. He didn't. His first year as a starter, I think he was 1-15 or 2-14. He wasn't good.
2-14. It wasn't a good year.
And then his last year was up and down. He was Mr. Inconsistent. That's the thing with Jared Goff is you might get 5 really good games out of him, but then you're going to get 8 really mediocre games.
Sounds like Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah. I also did not say Jared Goff is a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback. You surround him, he can win. He's shown that. He got you the Super Bowl. Same as I said it a couple weeks ago when we had the Jimmy Garoppolo talk. That's where I put Jared Goff at. He's a Jimmy Garoppolo level.
I wouldn't say he's the reason they lost the Super Bowl either.
Yes, he was. He played absolutely horrible in the Super Bowl. He played. Go look at his stats. His stats were horrible in this. And Goff. It was horrible.
Wasn't that the year that they weren't using Todd Gurley because he got hurt? They weren't really using him. Wasn't that year? Yeah,
that's the year C.J. Anderson was just being a monster. I believe. No, that was the year after. When he played that, because they made the playoffs the next year. I'm pretty sure
that Super Bowl run, year they weren't using Gurley that much. He got that injury, and then because we all kept asking why they didn't use him in the playoffs.
I think that was the next year because I think he had like 1,800 rushing yards the year they went to the Super Bowl. He was a monster that year.
I remember something about the Super Bowl not using him because then they released him the next year after that Super Bowl.
He was released in 20.
I'm pretty sure.
Who was?
Tim, tell me here, man.
Yeah, someone help us out. I don't remember that far back. That's almost 4 years ago. Gurley.
Gurley was released before. I think he was released in 19, wasn't he?
So yeah, because he didn't play this year. He played for the Falcons the year before, so he was released in the end of 19.
That's right. 2019 was his last season with LA.
Yeah.
And he had 1,300 yards in 17. And he had 1,251 in 18.
Yeah.
So
19 he got hurt or something, wasn't it?
That's when he started battling the arthritis.
19 he only missed the one game, and he had 857, but he decreased his carries, and
that's when they
Isaac said ran into that New England defense. in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Jared Goff was 19 of 38 for 229 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Drew wants to know what the other subject is. He's ready to move on.
Gurley had 10 carries for 35 yards. So, yeah, C.J. Anderson wasn't the time that they did it.
Well, he asked topic. He asked what we were talking about.
No, he said, what's the other subject?
Oh, I don't even have that on here.
Hear me?
That's weird.
Gurley had more carries than C.J. Anderson in that game.
I thought,
I thought it was 19. They made the playoffs in 19, too. Anyways, our next subject is all we wanted to do was talk about the 2 hires, the Mike McDaniels hire.
Gurley got hurt for a playoffs, what Tim said. That's what I remember was him getting hurt.
Well, they weren't using him much either, though.
But then that's why I remember when he came back and he said he was healthy and McVay wasn't using him.
Yep.
We were all like, what the hell wouldn't you use him?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's what I said. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a Super Bowl year is what I said. It was the next year.
Gurley wanted more money. Gurley got money and he still didn't produce. That's why he's not running in the league right now.
So the last subject's the hires?
The hires, yes. All I wanted to talk on was, do you guys agree with the Texans hiring
Yes.
Lovie Smith?
Yes, I do.
Why?
I do agree with it.
Why?
What are you laughing about?
Because he keeps saying why.
I know. I just want to know. I want to. Yeah.
A couple reasons.
Yeah,
couple reasons. One, he was the defensive coordinator there, so he's kind of earned it. He's got head coaching experience, successful head coaching experience. I think it's good for him to have some familiarity in the locker room with him. This is going to probably be a little sensitive, but to hire a black coach was huge for them because now, the attorneys for Flores like, well, kind of changes our narrative a little bit with Houston with him because they did hire
They had a black coach beforehand, though, too.
I know that, but if they would have hired a white coach,
Josh McCown.
Yeah. Could you imagine what? So I think that was the right choice in their part. They brought in a guy that they felt was going to be good for their team and better for their team.
Oh, I agree with the hire. I think it was. You can't hire.
Isaac's a terrible hire for the Texans.
Well, the only reason I say this is I think it was a good hire because I agree with you on the familiarity. How you say the word? I agree with that part. I agree the players like him. I don't agree he's a great coach. He's a mediocre. I think he's like 89 and 86 in his career. He can build you a defense. I'll give you that. We've seen how horrible he was in Illinois. He was not a good coach in college. So he is getting. He was the best. He's
a Super Bowl coach, not a winning coach, but he led Chicago.
Yeah, but the offense was always terrible.
Offense he struggled with. Defenses where
defense were always great,
always good, and that's where he needs to hire a strong offensive coordinator.
He has yet to be able to figure that out.
Well, and hopefully this time he can.
Yeah. I agree with the hire when it comes to they was the best available candidate that they were. I mean, they went and got Flores because he was in it, yes, but they came out. I believe they came out and said that they just didn't want that. They didn't want because Flores is in the middle of this investigation.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. The drama that he's going to bring and the negative light he's going to bring to the franchise at that point in time.
Well, then they're already in one too with Watson.
I want to just throw this out here. You brought up his win-loss record, which it is 89 and 87. But Chicago in his first year, he went 5-11. He never had another double-digit losing season while he was in Chicago. It wasn't until he got with Tampa that he went 2-14 and 6-10, which is kind of what tarnished that overall record.
It did.
But if
he
you
has
look
80 losses, you only just gave me 30.
But if you look at what he did in Chicago, that was pretty consistent. He was pretty good in Chicago. He was consistent.
Defense carried them a long time. Yes. So he did his job on that part. He's a defensive menace. But
Isaac, you're right because he said I feel you could have stayed with the coach they had and grown as a team, and Lovey could have ran the D. He's right.
They could have, but I think that was purely This is my thing on why they didn't keep Culley. This is my belief. I think
it was the Watson thing.
The world probably don't agree with me. They are trying to bandage and fix the Deshaun Watson issue. They don't want to lose Watson. That's why they fired Culley, because Watson didn't want Culley. If they cared, if they didn't give a shit what Watson thought, they would have kept Culley because he didn't coach bad. I don't care what anybody says.
He didn't.
He did well for what he had to work with. Davis Mills, Tyrod Taylor. I mean, he did well. So I think they're trying to fix Mooney. I don't think agree with.
Well, and I think that's why Lovie Smith got brought in. I think it was a big part of it.
And their offense is fixed if Watson can just come back.
Watson comes back. Offense is huge. Lovie Smith's coaching career is kind of resurrected to an extent.
And I'm not saying he's a bad coach. He's just not a great coach. He's going to build your defense.
But let me ask you this on Lovie Smith. If you look at the offenses he had Rex Grossman as the quarterback.
But that's his problem. He's the head coach. He can fix that. But
I don't know. Did he even draft Rex, or was Rex there when he got there?
He drafted him.
I couldn't remember if he drafted him.
Pretty sure he drafted him.
And then in Tampa,
Jameis Winston.
He
drafted Jameis Winston. And Jameis played well.
Yeah, Jameis, he played well for him. And he had because Godwin was there, Evans was there, both of them was there.
I don't know if Godwin was. No, I don't think, because Godwin's coming up on his first contract. He might have been there for his second year.
Yeah, I can't remember if he was there.
Evans, I'm pretty sure, was there. Evans has been in the league for 8 or 9 years, so I'm pretty sure Evans was there for Lovie Smith. I don't know if Godwin was.
I can't remember if Godwin was or not.
Yeah, I cannot remember if Godwin was or not.
He did not draft Rex Grossman. Rex Grossman was drafted in 2003. Lovie started in 2004.
But he could have fixed the Rex. He could have got rid of Rex. He's stuck with Rex.
Well, see,
head coaches have that power.
Well, they do, but sometimes I think owners can, Jerry does it all the time, put his opinion on who starts and tries to run the roster. Sometimes I feel like owners will step in, especially if they got a lot of money invested in like Rex.
They didn't have a lot of him.
But he was a first-round draft pick.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure Rex Grossman was a first-round draft pick, wasn't he? He may not have been, but
because he was not good.
I can't remember. That was a long time ago.
He was not good at Florida. I think he won a national championship.
I thought he was not. He may not have. Yeah. I mean, Bobby said third round. He believed. You could be right. Maybe it was third.
He was a first-round draft pick.
Oh my God, you were right.
I thought it was first round.
He was the 22nd overall pick in the first round.
So first-round pick. Sometimes the owners are like, hey, he's our first-round pick. We took a first round. He's going to start. And we don't hear about it, but I mean, as an owner, and you got that much money out there,
I get it.
You know what I mean? So we can't just say that. Yeah, Lovie, probably should have. I mean, Rex led him to a Super Bowl, but lackluster Super Bowl,
and he wasn't the reason they went to the Super Bowl.
It was that defense.
Yeah, I mean,
and again,
they had
Lovie Smith.
Now, when Lovie was there, like I said, his first year was 5-11. Rex left in 2008. Okay. So with Rex being his quarterback, they went 11-5, then 13-3,
well, they won
7-9, and then 9-7. So he had 3 winning seasons with Rex as his quarterback.
Well, of course you can. Most people
then they went from there to Orton, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like
Kyle
that.
Orton
they also had
Matt
Matt Forte was there and Matt Forte was a really good back for them too.
No, remember? Then they had Jay Cutler.
Oh, and I love Jay
Cutler. And Cutler was a good quarterback.
Yeah, then Denver traded for. That's right. I had it backwards. I thought Orton. I was thinking Orton was there first, and then Cutler.
Well, Orton.
No. Orton was there. He was there when Rex Grossman was there.
Orton was drafted early in 2000.
Yeah, and then they traded
Orton
Denver to get him. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. And then Orton went to Denver and started. Cutler was in Chicago and started.
Yeah, that didn't work out very well. Orton was just absolute trash. God, he wasn't even. They give him so much props for Purdue. He wasn't even good at Purdue.
Who?
Kyle Orton. God, he was just not a good quarterback.
My guy was on the Bears quarterback room that they should have started over Rex. Craig Krenzel.
He did play a little bit for them, though.
He played preseason, and he played
for them.
And he played when they got hurt. He never started. He was never the starter.
I tell you what, a lot of people didn't care about it, but I liked Cutler.
I liked Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
He was a no-nonsense dude. I didn't like his work ethic. It was horrible, but I thought he was just a gambler, dude. That's what he did.
That was you could
he was a cigarette smoking. He was a cigarette smoking badass. Looked just like Alec Baldwin.
What was this?
More athletic.
What did they come out and say he had? They were always talking about him on the sideline look on his face or whatever and his demeanor, and he was always like he's tired, but he had some chronic illness or something that he dealt with. They said
he had a hot ass wife. They're divorced now though.
I can't remember what it was. He had something wrong with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they talked about it.
I have no idea.
I just thought he was a good quarterback and he didn't always have a lot of talent, but he still played well.
I liked him. I mean, I'm not going to say I liked him. I mean, he was just, and I do have a bit of a tendency for gunslingers, not as bad as Mooney's, but I don't mind a guy who'll take a risk. I really don't.
And I'm not sure what his stats were when he finished his career, but I know the dude. I liked him. I thought his persona, his personality. Jay Cutler.
He threw for 35,000 yards, 227 touchdowns, 160 interceptions. His passer rating career was 85%.
It's a not bad career.
Completion percentage for a career was 62. No, it's not bad.
So we go on to Mike McDaniels.
He was diabetic. By the way,
what it was?
He was diabetic.
Okay.
Mike McDaniels. Do you guys like it for Green Bay? Or Green Bay? Why did I say Green Bay?
I don't know. You threw me off when you said Green Bay. I'm like, what?
Well, I had Green Bay in my head because
what?
Do you like it? Do you like the hire?
That's the coordinator from San Francisco.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know enough about him to say if I like it or don't. He'll have to prove himself. It was one of those shocker hires, I think.
Well, what I'm saying is because does it once again hurt Flores again? Because Mike McDaniels is half black. He's a minority.
I think so. I think it's going to shatter his case a little bit. They can't say, the thing that Flores has to understand, and if you notice, any head coach is fired in the league. How often do they get another head coach right off rip? Most of the time
Mooney could only find a couple that got it.
Yeah, most of the time it's another. You take a year off or two before you get another coaching job.
You take another offensive coordinator, whatever you were good at that got you.
And people can say that. Well, they say, well, he won. Do what I think 24 and 25 as a head, 24 and 25 or 24 and 26, something like that as a head coach. Not a successful head coach to me, in my opinion. He wasn't winning the games that they wanted. I know they have all this other controversy crap out there, but you don't know. That's all he said, she said stuff of whether or not that stuff actually happened. I mean, I don't think the dude has. He's fighting $1 billion company with the NFL and the teams. I don't see it going anywhere. And I think, and people may disagree with me, but I think that he's hurting his chances of ever being head coach in the NFL again. I really do. And I know we had this talk about Colin Kaepernick. NFL learned their lesson with that. If you've got someone like that being bad publicity, that could hurt your company, I don't see him being a head coach again. I don't. A head coach in the NFL. Now, he could maybe go to college or somewhere else or maybe become an offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, but I don't know.
I think that also just depends on what the outcome is.
Yeah,
I mean, if he wins his suit, I don't see why he wouldn't be back in the NFL. If he wins this and it deems that he was offered this money to lose games.
I can tell you, how many times you think these NFL teams have did the interviews and knowing they already had their candidate hired, but they had to do the process. Okay, so what the Giants did, there was nothing wrong with what they did. They had to follow the guidelines from the NFL. They had their man, but they still had to follow. So Flores wants to be mad about it. Be mad at the NFL because they're the ones that made that rule where they have to interview.
I made a statement that said Flores he still had to get his opportunity for the interview with the Giants. You could have wowed them in that interview. You could have made them change picking Brian Daboll. You could have done something in the interview to be like, well, you know what? We might need Flores.
Well, I said this
but
to you.
But he didn't do that. He didn't wow them. He didn't get them to change. I
said that to you, and you disagreed with me wholeheartedly in this kitchen. I said when they brought him in that he could have had the ability to wow them, and you said, no. They wanted Daboll, period. He needs to just walk out. They did their job. They did whatever. And I said, but we have seen people get wowed before. You bring that interview in, and they're like...
The intensity, the fire.
Oh, shit. So I'm glad you actually sat back and thought about that. Like, there is that possibility that they could have been like, dude, this dude could have fucking wowed the shit out of us, and he didn't.
Right.
And could that have been a biased because they already had Dayball, like you said. This is our guy.
Could have been.
And then they're like, well, you could have wowed me, but at the same time, could it be at your point that they're like, listen, he's got an investigation going on. That's not something we want to bring into our organization at this point. So we're not saying that you're a bad head coach or we're not going to hire you because you're a black head coach. We're just saying you have possibly a lot of negative publicity coming your way, and it's against technically our boss.
Well, and
you know what I mean?
Bobby made a good point. They followed the rules, but Flores paid the price, and he did. The Giants paid the price. They had their dude, they had their guy, but they can't announce the hire because they have to interview. Well, that was the expense of Flores. So if he's mad at anybody, be mad at Roger Goodell and all the NFL people that decided that was the Rooney Rule was they needed that Rooney Rule. No.
I don't disagree with the Rooney Rule. Do I believe that there are some biasms from billionaire white head coach or billionaire owners? Yes, I think there are probably some of them that don't really want to hire
this
black.
right here. This example right here is exactly why I disagree with it, because you can implement that rule all you want, but doesn't mean that these NFL teams have to hire that coach. So they are wasting that person. That they wasted Flores' time by interviewing him, knowing they already had their man. So that rule is absolutely retarded.
But at the same time, it gives these minorities the chance to wow somebody. Because if you don't have that rule, maybe they don't ever hire him or interview a minority. It is a possibility.
But I don't see that happening. Today and age, I don't see that happening. 1, 2, 9. Yeah, there's always a chance they can go and wow them. But the chances of that happening is a lot less likely than the chance of it happening. Because 9 times out of 10, these owners already have the idea of who they're picking.
Well, I want to stick this out here. I don't think Lovie Smith got an interview with the Texans because of the Rooney Rule. I think he got an interview with the Texans because of his resume.
Yeah,
what he's done. Now,
that's exactly what it should be.
You could because your reaction there, you could be right. It could be, well, I mean, there's the rule, and that's probably why. And there's a lot of people who might believe that and saying he might have really got it because they were forced to. But there is the other narrative that maybe he was one of the front runners that they wanted to interview anyway.
2 days prior, this is why I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. 2 days prior, it was released from the Texans that Josh McCown was a front runner for that job. I told you about it. It was breaking news across Bleacher Report.
I read it.
That he was going to be the guy they hired. 2 days later, Josh McCown's notified. 24 hours later, Josh McCown's notified he's no longer the guy. Lovie Smith is our guy. This dilemma that Brian Flores is causing, whether it be true or false, could be forcing some of these NFL teams to say, let's go ahead and hire him. It could. I'm not saying it's true, but there is that possibility.
My thing is with the Rooney Rule is, if I'm a person of color, if I'm a black man, and I'm a coach,
we got to quit doing that too, though, because it's minorities in general.
Yeah, okay, minorities.
Yes, minority, because that's all of them.
If I'm in a minority and I get a call from a team and they want to interview me for the head coaching job, in my mind, I'm going to be thinking, okay, am I getting interviewed for this job because of my resume or because of my skin color or my race or anything like that? What are they interviewing? Because by implementing that rule, you don't know you don't know why Flores was called to the Giants interview, by looking on the outside because they had their guy,
but
called that interview because of the Rooney Rule.
The other thing is I've said this to him. If Bill Belichick doesn't send out that wrong text message, I don't think Brian Flores is even bringing this up because the fact that he would have thought he got an interview and that was it. He was actually notified before he even did his interview that Dayball had got the job. So I can see where he felt a bit disrespected on the lines of, ouch, that hurts, because we would all be pissed. But in today's manufacturing, you don't work manufacturing, but we all do. They also have to interview a certain number of women.
It's equal opportunity.
They just should have worded it different. The Rooney Rule's worked. Whether or not you guys want to agree with it or not, it's worked. It's given opportunity.
I didn't say it didn't work.
Well, I'm not just saying in general, everybody. If you don't want to say it worked, that's fine. But it's given minorities at least the chance that they might not have gotten. Because we never knew the times were going to change to what it is today when they implemented this in the early 2000s. Wasn't it the early 2000s? 2003 or something like that, I think it was, they said. I could be wrong on that. But we don't know 20 years down the road like we are in today's that society was going to become this. So I think at that point, is it working now? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it did work at the beginning, and maybe they do need to re-look into the Rooney Rule and maybe tinker with some things. But I think you're correct on that aspect. Is nowadays these guys, the minorities, are looked at just the same as what a white man is anymore. Absolutely. I mean, there's 7 or 8 GMs in the NFL now that are of a minority. So I think you're correct.
According to the minority, that ain't enough.
That ain't enough.
And when is it enough?
When is it enough?
When it's supposed to be enough?
We're not hearing other minorities lash out that they're not getting a chance. Maybe they're not as brave.
That's why I know I don't want to do this.
Guys, we're getting a whole other topic here.
I don't want to do this. I'm going to do it anyway. First, before I move on, Drew said, so why does Eric Bieniemy not get interviews? Or why does he not get head coaching jobs? Because the interview bad? It might be.
Hey, time out.
He might not have anything good that he's bringing to the table.
Isaac, and this is a great point.
I just read it.
Isaac said minority is an all-time high in the front office. Why is not being talked about? It's because it doesn't fit the storyline. That's exactly right. It doesn't fit the narrative.
Well, that's why I asked him before he goes on with what he says. If you're a minority, listen, hear me out, John. If you're a minority, and I want the fans to hear me out. If you're a minority, what do you want more? A GM job or a head coach job? Do you want to be in control of the franchise, or do you want to be in control of the team with the jeopardy of, do you want to be in control of who you bring in and out? Because the GM job is a better job to have, in my opinion, because you single-handedly can change everything.
I think with this whole thing, with everything that, with all of it going on, I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I feel like if your resume shows me you're a winning coach or a winning GM, I don't give a damn what your skin color is, what your race is. If you can show me that you can do the job, and this should go for anywhere. It doesn't matter what it is. If you can show me you can do the job, win me games, make me money, you got the job. But the thing is, it's not the way it is right now. I feel like if a coach like Brian Flores goes out and he's winning games, he still has his job at Miami.
Well, see, that's the thing. You've said this before, and I don't agree with that. Because the last 2 seasons, he won games. He was a winning coach the last 2 seasons.
But that's where you can disagree. But the owner, if he's not meeting the owner's expectation of what he should be winning, the owner has every right to fire him.
You just changed what you said. What you said was wins. He is winning.
He has a losing record.
Overall, yes.
Yes, that's my point.
The last 2 years is what matters because he was winning.
But it wasn't enough for the owner of the team.
I get that. All I'm saying is you said he wasn't winning. Because his overall record said that because the beginning of his career he wasn't good. But the last 2 years he is winning.
Were they in the playoffs?
No.
Okay.
Do they have a winning season? Yes.
But it wasn't winning.
The last 2 years, they had a winning record. That's the point.
Winning season
that
to me
is the bottom line. They had a winning record.
Winning season
years in a
is
row.
the playoffs.
Last year, they did have a 10-win season that ultimately they missed the playoffs with 10 wins. How often does a 10-win team miss the playoffs?
Very often.
Not very often.
I know. Cleveland did it in 07.
So I agree with what John's saying to an extent where it comes. Obviously, he wasn't doing what
it's no different. It's no different. You work where you work. No different. If you're not meeting the expectation of the manager, he can fire you. Same with you.
I get that.
You're not meeting that. So that's the same with that.
I get that.
But if the owner, if that coach is not meeting expectation, he's gone.
But in Brian Flores' defense on that, if I'm coming to work 40 hours a week, that's what you sign up for, is your 40 hours a week. And I've never missed a day of work, and I'm there 40 hours a week, and they decide to say, I'm firing you because you're not meeting expectations. What are the expectations? Was Brian Flores ever given the expectations of where we want you? Did they come in and say...
Dude, I'm sure when you have that interview, this is where we want you to be. Just because you go to work 40 hours a week and don't miss a day doesn't mean you're meeting the production. Doesn't mean you're doing your job correctly.
But is the line shutting? Say you're on assembly line, is it shutting down because of you? Or are you getting out there parts that?
See, now you're getting into whole different things that could affect everything. I'm talking about your individual performance.
I think the only thing I agree with Brian Flores is the thing where he said they fired me because I wouldn't lose games. I agree that is the exact point he was fired. They wanted Joe Burrow in 19. He wouldn't tank. He said it's not in his blood to tank.
I'm not going to say if I believe
I don't agree. The only thing I disagree with him is because I think he's a fraud when it comes to him pulling the race card.
Because this is my question. If he didn't lose the game in 19 when they wanted Joe Burrow, why didn't they fire him then? Why keep him another year? If they wanted him to tank games to get the number 1 draft pick to get Burrow, but why wait another year? If they wanted Burrow and he didn't get him Burrow, why not fire him then?
So
why hold him another year?
So when he wins 10 games in his second year, obviously I don't know too many people other than Marty Schottenheimer to get fired after 10-win season. He didn't.
Steve Mariucci did.
So he got another year and he gives him another winning record, and then he's let go. After 2 winning seasons in a row, he's let go. Like, I don't know, and it was 2 back-to-back winning seasons the first time since.
Gosh, that's why we're in a union.
Yeah, Isaac say that. Yeah. I just think where his fraud is the race card. That's what I don't like about what Brian Flores is doing. He pulled the race card, and I don't like that. And I wish he would have just stuck with his point of saying, you wanted me, you tried to offer me $100,000 per loss. I turned it down.
But
I wouldn't be questioning your character.
But there needs to be some kind of proof of that.
There has. And that's what I said. We'll see what happens if he wins his lawsuit or does.
If it comes out and it proves that they did do that and that is the case, mad respect for the guy. What I do disrespect is the fact that he's saying he's coming out now because he feels like he needs to do the right thing. Well, what they were asking you to do was wrong, but you still stuck with the team.
I get that part. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that.
So you weren't doing anything right. You were okay of doing them doing wrong as long as you were getting paid and getting your money. But the moment that you get fired,
the thing
now
is,
it's all wrong.
The only thing I do blame the Dolphins at the same time because all the Dolphins are
saying bring Flores back to New England and get everything fixed up.
The only thing I disagree with the Dolphins is they're not giving him a reason why they fired. All they're saying is, you didn't meet expectations. He's saying, what expectations? What was I supposed to do? What you never gave me expectations other than saying I need you to lose games, so I wouldn't lose games. So now I feel you fired me because I wouldn't listen to you, which is a very good. They could have just said he wouldn't listen to me. What are you guys hiding, Dolphins? What are you hiding?
But you even said this yourself. Every team in every sport has a year they tank to try to gain.
I didn't disagree with it, but I've never heard anybody getting offered $100,000 per loss.
Well, and
that's not true yet, but that's what he's claiming.
Yeah, he's claiming that. So I mean,
Hugh Jackson said that in Cleveland. We found out that was false.
Drew said this a minute ago, and I missed it. He said, what about the Chiefs OC? What's his problem?
No, I said that.
Oh, did
Eric Bieniemy. Yeah, I said maybe he does interview badly. Maybe his interviews aren't that good.
And the fact of it, what's his resume? What is it?
He's an offensive coordinator.
Andy Reid calls the damn plays. So what's your success based off? Did you build Patrick Mahomes? I want to know. What Eric Bieniemy did you do that gives you a justification to be a head coach other than you're on a winning franchise?
We could have asked the same thing with Flores.
We could have.
Because he was a positions coach. He was never even an assistant offense coordinator, defense. He was always a position coach, but he still got a head coaching job.
Well, every head coach came from somewhere. They came from a coordinator position.
You're right. But most of the time, your head coaches, not all the time. Most don't say that I'm saying all the time. Most of the time, come from an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator,
an assistant head coach,
not a positions coach.
I know. Yeah, and I was going to touch back on Daniels because Daniel started in 2005 as an intern with the Denver Broncos. Then the next season is when he stepped up and finally got to be a positions coach. And since then, he's worked his way up the ranks. And that's why I feel like you're very qualified to try to get a head coaching position. It's time for you to take that next step. You've done it all. Let's see what you can do on the big boy level. I got no problem with that. Like you said, when you go to a position coach, like, let's say, Freddie Kitchens, who jumped from position coach to offensive coordinator and then head coach, he literally jumped from position coach to offensive coordinator in the same year, and the next year, you're head coach. I never felt he was qualified.
No, but I think the only
Flores, Isaac said he thinks Flores called defensive plays last year.
I don't know. I don't know whether to comment on that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Did.
And I think back to your Freddie Kitchens. I've said this to you 2 years ago when they did it. It was the chemistry with Baker.
I know with Baker Mayfield, but
to
to keep the chemistry with Baker Mayfield, state offensive coordinator, head coach takes away from that chemistry, and we found that out. You can't be as involved with the just the quarterback if you're the head coach of the entire football team. So keep him as the coordinator. He still needed to learn. And
the other one, I think Bill Callahan was a positions coach when he got his head coaching job. I think he was an offensive line coach.
Might have, yeah.
That's the only other one I can think of that possible. And I don't even know if that's true, but I'm pretty sure he was an offensive line coach once he got his first gig, Bill Callahan.
It's like walking into the factory and being an assembly worker the first year, the next year they make you the president. What? How?
Well, they do.
Where are you
sometimes
qualified
make
to
people
do
lead
that?
Line leads. Would
That's
that
a
sort of
line
count as
lead,
a
I
head
get.
coach?
No,
You're in control of
no,
not line lead. To me, would be like an offense coordinator, defense coordinator.
Well, you're in control.
Head coach would be the general manager of the plant.
Supervisor or plant manager.
Or
yeah.
supervisor.
So they get made a plant manager in a year. Like, what do you know? What do you really know?
Joe Judge was too. Joe Judge, he was an offensive defense. He was a coordinator.
I
Wasn't
thought he was a coordinator. I thought he was a defensive coordinator.
Drew said John Harbaugh was special teams.
I don't know. I mean, there might be more instances often than not.
And I'm not saying
think.
they're not. I'm
yeah,
just
well,
saying
you did say that more often than not, they come from offense, defense.
Joe Judge was a special teams coordinator and wide receivers coach for New England in 19 before he got made with the Giants. So at least he was a special teams coach.
But that's also but it's still a positional coach.
McVay was a coordinator, wasn't he? McVay, I'm pretty sure he was an
offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Tim said he could believe McVay was too. No, he was a.
Once again, I don't know whether you guys obviously might know.
So don't take it that I'm saying all. I'm just saying more times than not, they are an offensive.
And the thing is that's the other thing that it comes to. Joe Judge was fired after 2 years for the Giants, and he battled injuries to all key pieces for 2 straight years. He didn't come out and say, I was fired unjustly.
McVay was offensive coordinator for the Redskins before he got the Rams job.
I thought that's where it was.
Yeah, no, but I believe I agree with you. For the most part, they're usually a defensive or offensive coordinator, and then they get moved up to the rank.
Yeah,
it's not likely that they usually get from a positional coach straight to head coach. It's not likely, but it does happen.
I still stand on what I said. I don't agree with what Brian Flores did with pulling the race card.
I don't. That's my hang up.
That's the only part
that's my
the race card is no problems.
You could have just kept it as, I don't know why they fired me. They never really gave me a reason. I want to know, other than what I do know is you tried to pay me to lose and you wanted me to keep losing, and I refused to lose. If you would have stuck with that, I don't think you're hearing. I think you're perfectly fine. But once he ripped the race card out and said it's because blacks don't get looked at the same, that's where my problem came. And that's what I wanted to say to people who took offense.
Isn't it like 58% of the NFL?
Players-wise, they said almost 80% is staffs and everything. So that's where I wanted to, and I told Mooney I was going to do it. I wanted to apologize to the people who if you took offense for me wording what I said last Tuesday on air when I said Black Americans.
Saturday.
It was Tuesday when I said that.
Oh, Saturday.
No, we just cut film for that with Lamar Jackson from Saturday. Oh. So it wasn't a shot at Black Americans. It's just I didn't like that he pulled the race card. I don't like it. I'm not going to ever like it because I don't feel it's right. So, I guess that's. And then before you go on, the Mike McDaniels, only reason I say I like that hire is because the dude brings a whole different swag. He's into hip hop. He's into, dude, he loves to talk.
Did you see the call he made to shoot?
It's just something we've never seen.
You didn't see that call?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I seen it he was on the plane. He called Tua and was talking to him on the.
I think it's just it's a different personality. I liked it. I just thought that they did something that there's a bunch of young players on Miami. So this guy sort of fits that bill. Like I'm still hip with these dudes. I got it.
He's kind of the Sean McVay now.
Yeah. So
he's the new Sean McVay. He's going to come in with a whole different swagger and attitude and this young feel and this amped up, and he's pumped and he's positive and it's have fun. I feel he's kind of a player's coach, but in a good way.
Yeah,
not a negative way.
I hope he holds
not the Romeo Cornell way.
I hope he has the ability to hold accountability.
Right.
So,
and that'll be the thing. What I wanted to say was, earlier when I said I was going to do this and I didn't want to do it, but I'm going to, because when you guys were talking and you said we got to stop saying it, you got to start saying minority. Here's the thing: I don't see any Mexican descents complaining, or Chinese, or Japanese, or Russian, or anybody else you want to throw out there that's complaining that they're not getting their due justice. It's only the black community. Now, I'm not being racist.
That's a whole other topic, man.
I'm just where I'm talking in sports. In sports, that's the only thing that's happening. So I'm not trying to be racist, and I'm not trying to say that it's okay to be racist. It's not, and we've got to stop it. But how do you stop it?
Stop talking about it.
Exactly. I get that. Stop talking about it. It's just, it seems like that's the only time that there's a problem with race is something like Brian Flores happened. Then all of a sudden it's black people aren't getting enough. We're not getting what we need. We're not getting what we deserve. We deserve more. You deserve more in the NFL if you're qualified, not skin color. But they want to make it skin color. It's not. It's qualifications. It's just about who's the better guy for the job. But it can't be that anymore. Now it's, well, we're gonna have our next interview tomorrow. Is he black? No, we need to get a black guy.
You're not going to change that.
Like what the?
Yeah,
what?
We're not going to change that.
No, I'm not saying we're going to change anything. I'm saying it needs to change. I'm saying us as people in that organization, they need to change it. We can't change it. They need to. And I'm not saying you have to go out and hire guys of that's not white. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the narrative needs to change. It just needs to change.
Well, thank you for that, Mooney. We're hitting our 2-hour mark.
Amen.
I actually,
you're speechless.
First. We had a good
You said Mike looks uncomfortable.
Should we say the pledge of
what I
allegiance or
wanted to
something?
say, I was trying to wait on Mooney to give us our tune here, bro. Nothing else. We had our 2 hours today, man. I hope you guys really, really fucking enjoyed it. It's been a blast to be back. We're getting Drew
Thanks for
back.
being with us.
Yeah, we're getting Drew back on Thursday.
About freaking time, slacker.
Hopefully, man, he's back. We get some more energy.
Remember, this Thursday, YouTube.
YouTube.
You guys need to get on there, subscribe to our YouTube page. We're going to YouTube.
We're gonna go YouTube on Thursday. Hey, but thanks a lot, man. I'm Mike Ash.
Big country.
I'm Jay.
Jeez. We're out.